Liberty Center, Tigers hit the field. Orange and black, the power to wield. Claws out, fangs sharp, hearts full of pride. On this grid, and we ain't trying to hide. Quarterback's got an arm like a cannon. Linebacker strike, you don't know what happened. Running back cuts, defenders in the rear. Fans in the stands roar loud and clear. Hit Liberty, run that score high. Orange and black make them wonder why. Hit Liberty, show them what we got. Tigers on the prowl, we can't be stopped. Coach got the plays, got the strategy. Defense like a wall, pure energy. Special teams turning the tide fast. Every single play makes the moment last. Cheerleaders hype, crowd in a frenzy. Marching band plays, beats dropping heavy. Sidelines electric, can't fake that zeal. Tigers on the hunt, it's all so real. Hit Liberty, run that score high. Orange and black make them wonder why. Hit Liberty, show them what we got. Tigers on the prowl, we can't be stopped.
Greetings and salutations. Another On the 50, Week 5 edition. And, Coach, we have hit the halfway point of the season, and it just seems like every year we get older, we being you and I, even though I am a bit older than you, it goes faster. I don't know if you feel the same, but the scrimmages and the two-a-days and the fair and all those things just seem to blow by, and here we are. We played 5 weeks already. You're 5-0. You're not undefeated. That's a rule in this building. We don't talk about undefeated anymore. You're a 5-win team. I love saying that, by the way. How you feeling about this football team today and where you stand at the second half of the season? Of course, we're going to get into PH in a minute, but here we are, 5-0, and how you feeling today?
Well, I think you're right. This is probably the fastest 10 weeks of the year. I mean, once you start game week, it just goes so fast, and you're on to the next week. So we're halfway through the season and on the downhill side of the second half. So going fast. I think we've gotten better and better each week, which is what we want to do. And we've gotten good reps for a lot of guys. We've had several opportunities where we've had younger kids get to play some meaningful varsity snaps, which has helped our depth, and you can see some of those younger guys emerging, some of the new starters getting better and better that we thought these guys can be players for us. They just need reps, and you can see them starting to make plays. So far, the progress has been good, and then obviously this week is going to be a huge test to see where we're really at.
We'll touch base briefly here on Brian, obviously a program that's got a long way to go. We spent a lot of time the last 2 weeks reminiscing and trying to be nostalgic and talk to your brother and a lot of alumni about it. A lot of them, probably 15 to 20 different guys that I touch base with from time to time, and guys that I coached and really enjoyed. And Rob's one of my favorites, always has been. And it's all of us as alumni or fans, it's just so difficult to see a Swanton and a Bryan, two teams we feared. This is Swanton week. This is Dave Hansbarger. This is Cliff Height. We're going to Bryan. We're going to play in the old Coliseum. My father-in-law, who's 86, driving to the JV game, we're talking about these epic games we played. You played them. Mm-hmm. How difficult is that? You're a fan. You love Liberty Center football. You've been a part of the program since you've been a Tyke ball boy. Is that a difficult thing for you? Obviously, coach win, get a lot of players in. That's all great. Difficult for a lot of people to see the struggles of those programs.
Yeah, I think, for those communities, you don't want to see that.
And I know you want to see them good. You want that.
Yeah, because, the better they are, the better we have to play, the better we become. In a game like that, we got out to a fast start, and yes, we get a lot of guys in and a lot of guys reps, but at the same time, we need to get our ones and our starters in a 4-quarter game and getting them putting some pressure on them, making them uncomfortable, and you just don't get that with those running clock games in the first half. So when we do play, this week, and we get into a situation where we got to make plays and get things done, we haven't been there yet. And that's one thing, we'll get into PH, but, they've played a couple 4-quarter games and been in some tight situations that we have not been in yet, and so they've got the upper hand there. When you have struggles like Swanton and Bryan, it can kind of snowball.
Yeah.
And you stack that on top of each other.
Back-to-back weeks.
And it's hard to right that ship. I think both of those coaches are doing a good job, and I think they're capable of righting that. But it's going to take time and patience from the administration and the communities there.
Certainly, we look at these games. Of course, the 76-6 or whatever that was, 76-7. I just lost track. It's just, as a commentator, you start talking about players and young players and all those things, and we did. And there's some guys that the last 2 weeks really kind of stuck out in a very positive way. And I think you've got a couple guys that are young, the sophomore group. Brian Babcock likes to talk about the emergence of those sophomores. I think it's always fun to talk about the emergence. This is the kind of time, these are the kind of games you start to see some of that. The Trent Murdochs and all those different players. But Henry Fitzenreiter really, and again, you don't want to just single out one player because there's a lot of good players. Isaiah Badenhop, and you got all these guys, that are sophomores that are but they're impacting the program. And they're doing a great job, but Henry Fitzenreiter has really started to rise. And that right guard position, we knew we had Mad Max. Of course, he needs a blow once in a while, too. Swigert's been good. Navarre's been good. When Dippy's played, Cifuentes has been good there. But, you're just getting some nice play from your sophomores.
Yeah, Henry's one that coming into the season we knew he was really capable of being really good. He showed flashes last year in the playoffs on our scout team. High energy guy, high motor guy. But it was one of those things, by week 4 or week 5, I think he'll be ready. Before that, he's got potential. He has to realize it. And now he's starting to realize that. He's playing at a very high level, got a high motor, and he's learning as he goes. When he makes a mistake, it's in the file and he knows not to do it again. Or when he does something well, he knows, okay, this is the way it has to be done. But even, things you can't see, his leadership is good. He's, kind of like a Max Walker, a little bit younger version of that, where he's gonna try to fire guys up and talk and encourage the younger guys and things like that. So Henry has a really bright future, and he's gonna give us some valuable reps throughout the year.
Well, and again, I don't mean to single out one player. I think you're getting really good play. But it's rare, to your point, to see a sophomore impact. He's played some good defensive reps, meaning, you needed some help at guard. You've got a mix there. They've got that guard. We're going to talk about that guard play and that secondary play in a second, but just feel like Henry Fitzenreiter has added a lot to that guard room too. And then he's made some good defensive plays, things that you wouldn't necessarily see. So he's getting valuable reps, and he's given rest to some of those frontline guys that you need for the second half of the season.
Yeah, and it all starts with his motor. He's a high motor guy, and it doesn't matter how big, fast, or strong you are. If you've got a high motor and you're going to play harder than your opponent and be relentless, you're going to give yourself a chance to play some meaningful snaps and make some plays and be an impact player. And then you couple that with, he worked extremely hard in the offseason. He's got good size, plays with good leverage, and he's very, very intelligent. You kind of mix all that together, and you have the makings of a kid who's going to be a really good football player for us, and is really starting to show that now.
There was an ESPN special, I think, 30 for 30 on the New York Stock Exchange, or the New York Sack Exchange, and that was back in the 80s, back when I was rolling, and you were very young. But there's a guy named Mark Gastineau that used to do this crazy sack dance, and some of his teammates loved it, and some of his teammates didn't love it. Now, that's not what Henry does, but the energy level, kind of like when he makes a play, he's excited, not just for himself. He's excited for his team.
Sure.
And that came to mind. I'm like, that guy looks like kind of like a Mark Gastineau, he's so excited. And that gets everybody excited, your teammates, and it gets your sidelines and your fans into it a little bit. That just like great play, and everybody acknowledges it. And it also gives that opposing team like, that guy just dominated that snap. Ooh, that's a tough play for us. So I think it does a lot of things. The energy does a lot of things for everybody.
Yeah, energy, is something you can't see, but you can feel it when you're down there, in a big game.
Yeah.
When guys make plays, there's just an energy out there, and you're either going to be an energy giver or an energy taker, and I think Henry's an energy giver.
It's interesting, too. We'll wrap up the whole thing on the energy piece, but I think when you're playing Swanton and you're playing Brian, sometimes you're trying to find the energy. Those starters know what's about to happen. The Garrison Cruises are just, you could have handed that ball off 25 times. You could have had 700 yards. I mean, you just could have done that. Sometimes the older players that have been through some of the state championship games, they know that Brian game isn't going to provide them that competitive. But then the young guys bring that energy, and they bring that excitement. They know they're going to play. They know they get to big plays on a varsity field. I think they really helped the energy the last 2 weeks.
Oh, absolutely. The younger guys, chomp at the bit to get out there and show what they can do. And, and certainly we get that. But then, the older guys are probably just as excited for them.
For them, yeah.
You look at Caden Kreinbrink after Levi Howe scores on a quarterback sneak. He's like running on the field to, jump up in the air and chest bump him because he's excited for him. They're same position group. They practice together every day. And, with the O and D line, they get excited for each other. And, that's a good thing for a team is when you have teammates that are genuinely excited for their teammates' success. But those younger guys, they want an opportunity. In big games, they're probably not going to get it. So in these games, they bring the energy when they get the chance.
Yeah, it's exciting. I think everybody is funny. I was talking to Jeremy Babcock, who now has joined our booth as a play-by-play guy, and he's like, man, what are we going to talk about this one game? We know this is going to be. And then Brian Babcock, his brother, says, hey, man, get the roster out. Highlight some of those young players, and they're going to come play. And, man, right on time, they all delivered and had such a great performance, and even more importantly than making great plays, they were just so excited to play. And I think our fans, no one's leaving on a blowout for us because they know that next generation of player, we're getting a chance to see almost a preview what the future looks like a little bit, and I'm sure the staff really likes that as well. It's been a good couple weeks for that. And I also wanted to kind of address as we prepare to play one of our biggest league game of the year. We'll see. Every game is big, but this is a big week. But we talked about in the preseason and we outlined question marks from, every year you've got to answer questions. And I think the staff does it as well as anybody. And I would argue maybe anybody in the state of Ohio. You lose a really good quarterback, a senior. We lost, the Miller kid who was a really good player and steady and did a lot of good things. Of course, Caden Kreinbrink did get snaps last year. I think everybody has seen that question, I think, is being answered weekly, and losing a really good player and getting really good play from the current senior. We talked about the secondary, and you and I had a long talk in the preseason about, man, you losing 4 dudes, and Cam Colley's walking around in the stands, and you're like, oh, man, not that we don't love our corners, that we get that guy back. And, Miller also was a great shutdown corner. And then you lost some snipers, and all these guys you lose. I think you guys kind of like that. You don't like to lose them, but you like the challenge of rebuilding the cornerback and secondary room. Of course, you started with Thomas Moeller, and that's where it's all started. Talk about the evolution of your corners, because look at the play. JT Okru, boom. I mean, these guys are just emerging one after the other.
Yeah, we coming into the season, we knew we had bodies.
Yeah, and good ones, quality.
Yeah, quality bodies, and it's like,
slack snaps. Yeah.
Is one really that much better than the other? They have different strengths and things like that. But you're like, all right, we got guys that, how good are they? We don't know, but they're all kind of in that same ability level. And how can we get them all in the field and rotate them in? And different positions. The corners, you're looking for a different skill set than maybe you are at sniper, and even at sniper, what's the skill set? We want a guy that can play the run and get in the box, and maybe another guy that when we play a spread team is playing deep and able to cover the pass. And I think we've got a good mix of that. We've moved some guys this year, JT Okru from corner to sniper, Isaac Orth from linebacker to sniper, and then we had Caden and Mason Smith kind of back there. And so that group has really worked well together and gotten better and better. And you see that emergence. Our corners were, again, unproven, but we knew Ethan Gray is a tremendous athlete. He was going to be a starter last year on a state runner-up team as a sophomore until his injury sidelined him. Isaiah Badenhop has emerged. Another kid you knew was a good athlete. You watched him in basketball. He's got quick feet, can move.
Gritty. Guy's gritty too,
Anticipate, great ball skills, sees the field. It's like, all right, he can go out there and he can make plays on the ball. But you had Tyler Roars, who, again, was a big, strong, physical kid, good speed, good mobility, and you like that group. And now with Tyler out, Isaiah's kind of ascended. Then you got Adam Foster, who's just cat quick. Great footwork at the corner spot.
Twitchy.
Yeah. Ty Jackson, kind of same thing, good speed.
Well, he's played well the last couple of weeks, Ty Jackson.
Yeah, he put in a lot of work in the offseason, has gotten stronger. And so we've got a group there that, is getting better because they're getting more opportunity and more reps. And so they're just now starting to mesh together and play good as a unit, figure things out. And then, we got some, like Brady Badenhop is emerging, and so is Tatum Murdoch and guys like that. So they're starting to get to gel as a unit and know their roles and understand their roles and just try to be the best they can at those positions. Now we're going to be tested this week like we were probably tested week 2, and haven't been tested like that the last couple weeks. But this is going to be a big week because we're going to see a really efficient pass game. Kind of a different style than Eastwood, but again, they're going to put athletes all over, and we're going to have to contend with it.
I just can't forget about a Tyler Roars. I know we don't want to lament on the injury, and everybody knows what happened to Tyler Roars, but there was a guy that had built up so much equity in your practices and the weight room, and you saw him in track, and gosh, you're like, man, let's get this guy in the field that's going to be, and he was really starting to produce, and obviously early on trying to get settled into that corner position. He played Defiance, different things. We saw him just rapidly, such a bright IQ kid. I got on the field this last week. I don't usually go on the field. And I went up to him and talked to him a little bit. Boy, positive attitude with his teammates, enjoying the moment. And you'd think, oh, well, you're blue and sad. I'm sure there's moments of that as well. But it's just good to see him. Boy, big dude. I guess I did. You don't know that until you go, like, that guy was a big, strong young man. And to lose that, but yet to see him being positive and enjoying that senior year, that's got to bring a lot of joy for you.
Like I mentioned before, his role has changed. Not the role he wanted, but he's still a positive force on this team and has a lot to offer. Maybe not on the field, but off the field and mentoring the young guys and just being a positive influence. He's a great kid, great family.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about it.
Not the way he wanted to play his senior year, but he's going to make the best of it.
No,
that's going to help us.
I've endured that. I shared that with the Roarses, and man, it's tough, but he's been there, and it's good to have him. We need him on the sidelines. Tyler Roar is just one of the best characters you got on your program moving forward. We also talked about guard play. It's really difficult to replace, Tyler Lay and the rotations you had last year. And we're going to get to your coaching staff here next. But, gosh, I just think that right guard position and some guys that can come in for Mad Max and give him a breather, that went from we got Max Walker and we got a bunch of dudes that look good, but we got to be good. Those 3 or 4 guys have really answered the call there.
Yeah, again, they're getting better and better as they get more reps. In kind of different ways. Deegan Schweigert's a guy that is just looking for somebody to hit.
We, in the booth, Mark Bly, captain, and we talk about, okay, what are we watching? I'm watching one dude, number 57, and we all get fixated on it because he kind of reminds you of the old pocket Hercules, Tyler Lay.
He's old school for
sure. He really is. He really is. I coached his dad.
Yep.
His dad was a bad dude. Tyler, these guys were bad guys. That Schweigert has really delivered on that.
Yeah, he's a physical guy and likes to hit and isn't going to back down from anybody. But he needed to get a little bit more refined in the technique and the fundamentals and things like that. And he's getting better, processing as he's moving, which a guard has to do. And kind of the same with Lucas Navarre, is a big, strong guy and just had to get experience moving and seeing things and who am I looking for, and that, there's a nuance to that. And then we talked about Henry Fitzenreiter as a young guy and is just going to get better and better. So that's a group, and then you throw Max Walker in there. He's
all Ohio kind of player.
Yeah, he's an all Ohio guy, a great leader, and so that's a group that we've loved the progress we've seen this year, and we have to continue to get better. There's going to be times where they don't match up with some of the D line we're going to see.
Well, we saw that maybe against Perkins early, Sandusky Perkins, or maybe a little overmatched at times. Certain snaps you saw them, just taking on something that they hadn't seen before.
So we definitely got to get better at that and get better pad level and things like that. But as a group, that they're getting better and better, and they're going to help us a lot.
And we saw Lucas Navarre really emerge too. So a lot of guys on these inclines. And I don't know why it is, but I had this conversation a couple times this weekend. I think every team gets better. A team from week 1 to week 10, they get better. But maybe I'm just so biased, because I am. But do you not feel like through the Lindgren era, I think even Jim Maker's era, I think talked to Jim about it too, like for some reason I think our program just gets, because you can look at the playoff runs, look at those performances, there's data to support that. Why? Why is it that from week 1 in the preseason, when we're looking kind of good and not so good, and we start to this team maybe is going to have some trouble, and we're still going to have trouble? Why do you think that the rapid improvement happens so much into week 6, 7, and 8? Because we're getting that now.
I just think it's because if you get quality reps and you emphasize practice, you got to, maybe you're not playing as many snaps as you want, but you have to work while you wait. So we talk about it all the time, man. When your number's called, whether it's because we have a running clock game and we're getting subs in, or we get a guy dinged up, your teammates are counting on you, and you don't want to let them down. And so you work hard to be ready for that moment. You get your opportunity, and if you get an opportunity and you do well, maybe you get more opportunities. Tom Brady talked about that when he was at Michigan, and he was the seventh string quarterback,
Yeah.
and he was getting 2 reps, and he was mad and frustrated. And then somebody said, you know what? Make those the 2 best reps you get. And he said, I dominated those 2 reps, and then pretty soon I was getting 4. Then, I dominate those reps, and then I was getting 10. And we talk about that with our kids. You get 1 or 2 reps, make them count, and make the coaches play you. We talk about that. If a guy asks, why am I not playing? My response would be, okay, show me why you should be. Get the film out. Show me why you should be on the field, type thing. And when they know that, they know they have to produce, and in order to produce, you got to put the work in practice. And so I think that's why you get that development. I also think our older guys who are playing do a fantastic job of mentoring their replacements. They coach them up.
You've been working on that with Ryan Miller and leadership and the locker room, relationships. That's been going on a long time here.
When we have a backup kind of mess up at practice, I sometimes turn around and yell at the starter. How's come he doesn't know what he's doing, or how's come he doesn't do that? Why aren't you telling him? Why aren't you coaching him up? I think hopefully that helps. I don't know if that's the reason, but that's kind of the way we do things.
Let's talk about your coaching staff. We don't often talk about them, and certainly I'm close with a number of them, coach with them or coach them, and they just do not like the spotlight. Nick Miller doesn't want to be talked about. He wants to be in the woods hunting some raccoon. Ryan Miller disappears. Can't find him half the time. Todd Spangler just doing his job every day. You can say that about all of your guys. It's a great coaching staff, period. There's just no discussion. There's no comparison. It's just as good as it gets. But I think a lot of our fans don't quite know the intricacies of their responsibilities, and I just wanted to get through that before we got to PH, because I think it's notable that when you're having this kind of success, 40, 41 straight, I don't know what it is, it's silly. I can't even, the numbers are silly. A couple state championship games, and the program from your day one to today, since you've been here with the transition with Rex, those first couple years weren't easy. There was a lot of stuff going on there. You're learning. You kind of ready for the job, but you're never ready.
Right.
Let's talk about your coaches, and let's start with the offensive line and your tight ends. Talk about those coaches there, the specific responsibilities, and we'll kind of work back to the backfield and the quarterback and the wide receivers.
Well, in the offensive line, we kind of break it up. We have tackles and tight ends kind of grouped together, and Nick Miller and Todd Spangler and Owen Box work with them. A lot of combo blocking and things like that on the perimeter and off tackle. Sometimes we'll throw the wings with them just so they can work as a 3-unit team. And then centers and guards would be Matt Bryan and Brad Howe. And they work with those guys and kind of separate them, so they work as groups. Sometimes the guards and centers will come with the running backs and work with us on timing, on pulls and things like that. And then the centers, guards, tackles, tight ends get together, and they'll work as a group a little bit. And the coaches really work well together. I mean, they're all on the same page with technique and scheme and things like that. And we got eyes on everything. We want to watch what's going on the play side, what's going on the back side, and we got plenty of eyes looking at that. They each have their own group, and then Nick kind of takes the offensive line coordinator and makes sure everybody's on the same page. And he's a big wig at ODOT. He's in a leadership position there, so it transitions well to coaching.
Was that big wig? You say big, he is a big wig. Period. When you look at the guy.
So our offensive line, those guys have been at it for a long time, and they might tell you something different, but I try to give them ownership of that. I don't, I'm not saying you got to play this guy or play that guy and this and that. People ask me, well, who's going to start it here and there, and I'm like, I don't know. Whoever the coaches put
You
out
actually
there.
have said that over the years. I call you and like, hey man, you might want to talk to Nick. You might want to talk to Matt about that. Like who the starters are, but you aren't making. I mean, you're making decisions, but you're not making those minute to minutes.
Yeah, I'm not going to micromanage them. At least I hope I don't. And a lot of times I don't look at it as who's starting. It's like we got 3 guys that are going to play. 2 of them might be out there on the first snap, but they might not get the most reps. And that I like it like that. I don't want to define it as, oh, you're a starter, you're not a starter, you're a backup. It's we got guys that are going to play. They're going to play. So they work with the offensive line and just do a fantastic job.
Talk about we talk about that trio of guys, Spangler, Miller, and Howe. We never talk about Matt so much in the guards because we just talk about the defense so much that he's done so well in. But Matt Bryan certainly with Howe, those guards have made such great improvements. So you know the work's getting done, and great job by Matt Bryan, even though he's known as a defensive coordinator. Who's your wide receiver coach, and then work back to backs and quarterbacks?
Well, Ryan Miller works with the wide receivers, and he and Chris Riggy work together closely because Chris is with the quarterbacks, and so they're constantly throwing with each other. Tyson Andrews kind of helps out Ryan now at the wideout spot, and then once in a while, certain days of the week, we'll take tight ends down with them, so Ryan can work with tight ends on catching and route running and things like that. Because they've been an integral part of our passing game, especially this year. So sometimes we take a group and go work with another coach in that way. But they work together, and again, a lot of passing, and then sometimes they split off and we'll do some individual work, whether it's releases off the line or route running, and then just basic catching fundamentals, and then with the quarterbacks they're working route combinations and things like that.
Let's flip the script and go to defense. I'm sure the same kind of personnel guys are working on defense. We don't have the luxury of having an entire defensive staff go off over here and an offensive staff, but you don't want that because those guys can coach it. Why wouldn't they? Talk about your defensive line, and we'll get into snipers and corners.
Well, again, you've got Nick Miller, Todd Spangler, Owen Box working with the D-line. Nick's been at it for a long time, was an All-Ohio lineman. Todd, was an All-Ohio lineman. Owen was an All-Ohio lineman. So those guys know what they're talking about. They've been around a long time, and probably the best thing is the relationship they have with their position group is phenomenal. And so they can push those guys, ask them to do the hard things, and those guys respect them. They've got their little Debbies that they rate each week, and they have a lot of fun with that.
We've heard about the Debbie deal, and if it doesn't go well, I heard that maybe after Tenora, the little Debbies got in a lot box, and they were pretty upset about that.
There was an embargo on the little Debbies for a week.
There were some sanctions on the little Debbies.
It'll be interesting to see, which one of those comes out on top as the favorite of the D line. There's a lot of choices out there, and I think they take a lot of pride in figuring out which one's the best.
No bounties, little Debbies. I know Nick and I went back and forth for about a decade about fudge rounds and all these. I mean, they got them all down there.
Oh, yeah.
Moon pies, fudge rounds, zebra cakes. It's impressive.
Yeah. In the secondary, we've got a real nice group of coaches. Ryan Miller and Brad Howe kind of work with the snipers. Chris Riggy kind of monitors the corners a little bit and gets their rotation in and out, and I try to work with the rovers and kind of oversee all of it with the coverage and stuff like that, but then they kind of work with their position group, and sometimes the snipers will go by themselves and work certain things like taking on blocks and kickouts and things like that, and then they'll go with the D line and linebackers for an inside run period, because if they're in the box there, they work that, and then the corners and rovers are working more downfield passing things. So we split up sometimes, but then we work together as a group. We're all on the same page. And then obviously at linebacker, you've got Coach Brian, Eric Weimer, and Brian Hefflinger that work with them. And again, they work on their own skills, and then they work with the group on inside runs some days, and then they come with the DBs and work 7-on-7 stuff. So a lot of moving parts, a lot of intricacy. As the game has evolved, we ask the players, you got to be able to do more than maybe what we did 20 years ago, and so we got to develop those skills, and our coaches have done a great job of that.
The game's got more sophisticated, and don't I know it? Just to come into practice and was pretty archaic. And I know you enjoyed the sophistication part. I enjoyed the physicality part. So that staff is outstanding. You've got special teams and Brian Hefflinger, who's just and I always like Paul Amstetz's work. I always talk about, gosh, Paul Amstetz is attention to detail guy, and his guys are always on the right spot. Brian Hefflinger's picked right up where Paul left.
Absolutely. And, we saw the success our special teams had this past week and get a lot of guys in there. And, some of that's where they get a little bit of taste of being under the Friday night lights. And then, hopefully that helps develop later on. But we've got a group of guys that are excited about special teams and understand the importance.
Well, saw some alumni come on the field after the game against Brian. Somebody said, what's up with all these kickers? I said, we got a guy named Tom Russell. He's tan. He's got a nice pair of khakis all the time. He's walking up and down, understanding that, Tom is a specialist guy, but it's great to have those exterior presence and guys that know the know the game in your locker room. You got Tom Russell too.
Yeah, he knows the nuance of kicking, and he had a couple boys that were really good at it and picked up some things, and he's kind of passing that on to another generation. And we got like we're 4 deep kicking. And
when Max Perry bombs 35-yard extra points, we're like, where in the heck did that? Not that he could. I mean, where did that come from?
Before the game, the officials always ask me, "Is your kicker right or left-footed?" And I said, "Well, we've got one right, and we got a couple, one left and a couple righties."
Yeah.
And they're like, "You got more than one kicker?" And I'm like, "Yeah, we got about 4."
Legit kickers,
yeah.
by the way.
So those guys, they work hard at it, and again, it's the emphasis Coach Hefflinger puts on it, and the work that those kids are willing to put in to get better.
Brian Babcock said to me during our podcast, we did it this weekend. He goes, "Don't overlook kicking the ball in the end zone. The starting position of the opponent is such a. We're talking about all these things, and we just we don't talk about that. We've talked about Max Walker winning games with his foot, but that part of it against a PH or a highly skilled return game is huge.
Yeah, driving 80 yards as opposed to 65 is a huge deal. That's an extra first down they got to get into 4-down territory and things like that. And I think the statistics show the further you have to drive, the less likely you are to score. So, we put a premium on that field position.
We're gonna miss Mad Max, and we're gonna miss Caden Kreinbrink. Guys can really boot it. Everybody's gonna say, "Wow, how could you go 29 minutes and not talk about Patrick Henry?" Well, I think we all know about this game. I don't think there's a whole lot to be discussed. We've all looked at it pretty deeply. Some of us take these rivalry games and we go all the way to the core. Some of us say, "Hey, this is a game. They're good. We're good. Let's play it." You might lean towards that piece a little bit. Hard to not feel the rivalry. How do you feel about that? And coming off these games that you've played, how do you feel about Patrick Henry, Bill Inselman, the folklore of this rivalry? How's that impact your preparation, the way you look at things?
Well, we're not preparing for Patrick Henry this week. We've been preparing for this for 7 months.
You say that a lot. And I think they're like, how does he not want to? I think you do, but I think it's just a part of the plan.
Yeah, you got to look at the big picture. But this is why you coach. This is going to be the type of game you want to coach in. It's going to be a huge crowd, great atmosphere, 2 really good teams. You talk about energy. There's going to be a lot of energy, throughout the stadium. But they're going to be well coached, fundamentally sound, great athletes, big, strong, physical, and it's going to be a tough game. Nothing will be easy, and we're going to have to play really well. We're going to have to execute at a high level and minimize mistakes if we want to give ourselves a chance, because Patrick Henry is not going to shoot themselves in the foot and things like that. So it's going to be a heck of a game.
Bill Inselman, 277 wins, something like that. I mean, he gets into the top 20 all time, I think, with those kind of numbers, maybe top 25. Part of me says Bill Inselman wants to beat Liberty Center. And I think there's been no coach in the last 40 years that has coached against Liberty better than Bill Inselman. Now, Dick DeWitt, back in the 90s at Montpelier, he would say, "Hey, I got Liberty 4 times or whatever," and Dick did a good job at Montpelier. I think Bill does a great job of getting ready for Liberty Center. I think this is a circle game for them. It always is, one way or the other. Do you think that there's inherent differences in the way you see a season and the way, because you don't lament on this stuff like maybe somebody does. I think Bill does a little bit, and I think that's what makes this game interesting. Last year, we had big plans. We had a big plan, and this was a part of it. I think he had one plan, and I think that the way that game turned out last year, that was one hell of a football game, Case.
Well, I think he might, but I think it's because he knows if we can compete with Liberty, we're going to compete with anybody. So I think he looks at the big picture. He understands it and knows that if we want to be as good as we can, we got to compete with Team X, Y, and Z.
That's the bar for them. It's a bar for them.
And we're no different. We know if we can compete with Patrick Henry, we're going to be well prepared for anybody we see in the playoffs because of what they do and how they do it. And that's where we're at right now. This is going to be the biggest measuring stick that either team has all year, in my opinion.
Look at this game. Watch the film. You guys have been watching it, and you know it well. Their offensive and defensive lines, particularly their defensive line, really good. I mean, they got strengths everywhere. Skilled guys, quarterback. They got a defensive end that looks like he could rush the passer like a T.J. Watt. I mean, the guy's just quick.
Yeah.
He's a huge difference maker in the run game. You will account for him. If you watch the Steelers and T.J. Watt, they have to account for that. And the rest of those tackles are good. They're really good up front, Casey.
They've got tremendous size inside.
They do.
You just don't move them. And then, you talk about T.J. Watt. On the way over here, I was thinking he's like the Micah Parsons of the NWAL. Either one,
Speed.
take your pick. He plays the run really well.
Yes, he does.
He's got an unbelievable combination of size, strength, speed, quickness, explosiveness. Great with his hands. He could not play the rest of the year, and his numbers are all Ohio numbers right now, halfway through the season. The numbers he puts up are like video games. And there's a reason. It's because he's really good. But a lot of people don't realize is the other defensive end is really good as well. Now, he's been kind of on the injured for the first 5 weeks of the season. I think he got hurt week 1, but he'll be back for us. Same thing, big, strong, athletic, moves well. And, you got to contend with those 4 guys inside. And they just kind of tell the other 7 guys,
we got this.
Run to the football. They're going to cancel everything out, tackle to tackle. You guys go make plays, and that's what they do.
What a challenge! What a challenge! Because last year that was old school.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that took you back to when you played. It really did, or took me back to when I played. It was just so physical. A couple turnovers and a couple things, and then you hand the ball off to number 19 and get some things done. You put Spangler tight end late in that game or something. I don't know what you did. That was a tremendous adjustment.
He hadn't played tight end that game, but we finally put it together there at the end and got it done. So, we're going to need to do that again this year.
Yeah, pretty exciting. I think the difference, you lose a Krieger, you lose, Waylon Rentz, 2 of the finest players in the league last year. I think they were co-offensive players of the year. But ultimately, you're not going to share a thing. You never do. We can talk for hours. You won't tell us anything, which is perfect. But is there a part of the game that they bring, that Patrick Henry brings, other than that defensive line, that really concerns you, other than I think the athletes too? Like you said, these 4 guys control the line of scrimmage. What else really, when you look at quarterback, wide receiver, what concerns you about Patrick Henry?
They're going to take shots downfield.
They are.
And, we talked about our secondary, but they're going to take shots, and they've got really good athletes. They've got a Division I, Krieger out there who's got a scholarship offer to play basketball at Toledo. He's got good size. Obviously, he's going to be very athletic, and it's going to be hard for us to match his size and athleticism. So that, okay, you throw about 5 verticals throughout the game. If you catch 2 of those, you're flipping field position.
Yeah.
So we've got to contend with that, and then just obviously, Bill is a master of X's and O's, and when he sees a weakness, he's going to find a way to exploit it.
You got a chance to get a feel for this game a little bit in the passing game. The Perkins group gave you a good look, and certainly Eastwood gave you a good look. So I think that you've seen some of that. It's been good to face good receivers and good quarterbacks. Patrick Henry, the same. I like the way the quarterback throws it. That offensive line protects him, getting pressure. Is that going to be difficult to get pressure in this quarterback?
Absolutely. He gets rid of the ball so quick. We talked, I don't think we've sacked them in 3 years. Just because they get rid of the ball so quickly. And, even if you don't get blocked, it's going to take you a second and a half to get there. And if they get rid of it in 2 seconds, you're likely not going to get to it. But hopefully we can at least make them uncomfortable and get them off their timing and stuff like that. But we'll see how it all shakes out.
Certainly last year was such a tremendous game in Hamler. This game proves to be the same. A couple of 5-0 teams, a very, I don't want to say wicked rivalry, but it gets a little tough and it gets a little community based. People look forward to this game. Bill Inselman's been talking about this for a while, and I just think he gets a real joy out of beating us, and we certainly get a joy. Mm-hmm. We've gotten 5 in a row now, or has it been 4? Has it been 5?
I have no idea.
Neither do I. We don't think about that, but I certainly do. Anyway, didn't get the numbers right on that. Maybe it's been a few in a row. But Liberty Center, Patrick Henry, this week, big game of the year, probably a highlight game for us in Rex Lindgren Stadium, Kip Kern Field, and Coach. This is going to be a lot of fun. The whole week's a lot of fun. Last week was homecoming. This week, PH, a lot of festivities this week.
Yep.
All right, very good. Wish you a lot of luck this week. Welcome to Liberty Center tonight. Patrick Henry, Liberty Center. 5-0 and 5-0, Spike. The 2 best teams in Northwest Ohio, I think, by far, at least in that mid to small school division. And I wouldn't be afraid to play Perrysburg tonight. But 5-0, both teams, you've been a lot of these rivalries. Bill Inselman, all-time legend, Hall of Fame coach. What have you seen this week in preparation for this beautiful night of football? Probably the biggest game in all of Ohio tonight, given that they're number 2 in Division 7, we're number 1 in Division 5.
Well, I think Casey identified it right away. We are not playing a team. We are playing an entity. I mean, and this is what it's all about. But we are going to play our game. We're not going to get caught up in all the hoopla. We're not going to get caught up with a staff that runs up and down the field on the other side trying to use a lot of intimidation. We're going to come and we're going to play our game. This week, Liberty worked a lot on the Wildcat. They call it Thundercat, I think it is. They worked a lot on in the passing game, the short passing game, the controlled passing game. A lot of 2-minute drill stuff. And the team was all week long. They were focused, but they were loose. They were not overwhelmed with the rivalry week. Even though it was a special week, the players themselves, there was no bragging, no pounding of the chest, no shoving guys around. It was focus. It was great. Little nervousness. Now they had their share of fumbles and bad snaps and all that stuff that typically goes with it. But I was really impressed Thursday night. After every practice, the team, as a team, recites the Lord's Prayer. Well, when they did it this time, buddy, there was some punch and power and feeling in that. They were in it.
Well, Spike Whitman always at practice keeping his finger on the pulse, Jigs, and we don't get down there. We watch a lot of film. We do a lot of different things. Spike's in practice. We're breaking down huddle, talking to coaches all week. There's lots to review here. We don't have lots of time, but let's just kind of off the tip here. Last year's game was a classic. Mm-hmm. It was a throwback game. It was one of the most exciting games I've seen in terms of not just the rivalry. It just took you back a little bit. A lot of slamming, a lot of running, a lot of old school ball control. Liberty was plagued by turnovers, and it kind of kept Patrick Henry right there and had the lead in the fourth quarter.
Hey, wait, let me jump in. How many football games have you not seen changed, modified with turnovers and penalties?
It is the single biggest impact to a game.
Yeah, right. And so if we had penalties, you know what? It's tough luck, buddy. If you get penalties, you have to overplay those.
Well, you had to overcome.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Well, that was a good cut in, though, because it's true, Spike. Turnovers and penalties are just difference makers, and I suspect Liberty's been much better in the penalty area, much better in the turnover area. This 25 Liberty Center team, way different than I think last year, and they're all good. But turnovers and penalties have not been the biggest problem here.
Yeah, for sure. I think if you look at this Liberty Center team, just the discipline at all three levels, offense, defense, special teams, they don't make a lot of mistakes. You may see some kind of late blocking penalties here the last few weeks. That's something you got to keep an eye on. You know, this crew, there may be some chippiness in this game.
Well, Bill's going to be working them. Bill will be working those.
And you don't want to
officials.
get a 15-yarder. That's something that can kill a drive. That's something that can give, the opposing offense, some extra yardage when you don't need to. So I expect this to be a rock'em sock'em in the trenches, hitting, nasty football game.
Just for example, 15-yard penalty. Delta and Archibald. Delta had the lead. They had the ball. They had it in their territory on the 30-yard line. They ran for a first down. 15-yard penalty, called it back. It wiped out a 30-yard gain. They lost the ball on downs. Archibald went down and scored the winning touchdown.
And that was a great game, the Archibald-Delta game. And all I could hear was Coach Downey complaining about penalties and turnovers. And Coach John Downey, all-time legend. And we've got another one tonight, Jigs and Bill Inseman, 276 and 103. 183 conference wins. He's a 79 graduate. He transformed the program. He's got 12 titles in 33 years. We've got a great piece of information here this is A.D. Pullman up with us. Who put this information together for game day? Jamison Meyer puts together an NFL. What is it?
Impressive.
Puts together an NFL game day Bible about the game today. Really well done. And I appreciate that. I know A.D. Pullman comes up to make sure we mention that. Really well done, but the numbers are astounding for what Bill Inseman has done. He's kind of taken the reins from Rex Lindgren, the great Hall of Famer. Talk about the difference that Bill Inseman makes in this game. He coaches against Liberty as well as anybody. He's 20-18 all time, and there was some stretches where he didn't lose for several years.
Yeah, well, you see with Bill his ability to play to his strength and play
personnel.
to his talent and personnel. They'll do that offensively. Sometime last year you saw Krieger at quarterback. They wanted to just gum that up inside and just power run that thing. This year, maybe not as much power run, more passing. And then the run and the defense. They've been so impressive on trying to stop Liberty Center's run game for forever, really. They have the ability to shoot gaps, bring linebackers, bring extra bodies, to make it hard on our run game and have to rely on the pass game. And I would expect that to be the same story here tonight. Make us pass.
We saw a junk defense. Tenora was effective.
They were.
You had a little bit of a deal with Tenora where they did a good job of getting in our guards' faces. Of course, that was game one, Spike, but still a little bit of a formula. And then Otsego, 11 first downs in the first half with that offense that we did not adjust well to, and it was only 7-0 after the first quarter. There are bits and spats of game plans that can unlock this dominant Liberty Center, and Bill Inseman's good enough to find them.
Oh, absolutely. You know, I've heard a lot of people talking a lot of smack, and boy, we're going to blow them out, and we're going to do this and do that.
I'm not there.
Well, I'm telling you, nothing is further from the truth. As soon as you start believing that you're the next thing to the Lord Himself, buddy, you're going to get taken out at the knees.
Yep.
You may get chop blocked, you may get head slapped, but you're going down. And that's why Liberty Center, our coaching staff, headed up, of course, by Coach Moeller, does not let that happen. They go to the greatest extremes for the philosophic part of football to teach these guys that you're not going to fall into those traps.
Well, I will tell you what, here in the KK Collision pregame, when I looked at this team on film, and I looked at them last year, I can't decide whether I love all their skilled guys or I like their two best players, I think the most impactful. There's guard Adrian Delgado, a 6'1", 285-pound senior, and Jude Hudson, a 6'2", 270-pound junior. Those two guys get after it at the line of scrimmage. They move bodies. They're athletic. Those are two of the best offensive linemen we'll see all year long.
Yeah, and that's really, if you look at their run game, I think that if you would ask the Patrick Henry staff, maybe they're a little bit not where they want to be yet on establishing the line of scrimmage. You see those two players on defense, and they pop. They're penetrating.
Same two players.
They're penetrating. They are nasty on defense. At times on offense, they look a little disinterested. So I think that's going to be a key tonight for Patrick Henry's offense. You have to establish the run. You can't rely on the pass. You can't expect this kid to throw it 30. Tristan Rosebrock throw it 30 times a game, or you're asking for trouble.
Well, Lincoln Krieger last year at Northwestern, that was the focus of the offense. This year, much more diverse. But you said it, Jiggs. This is a defensive football team led by one of the greatest defensive ends in league history. I don't think we can overstate that. Grant Smith, a 6'2", 225-pound senior. When you turn the film on, Casey says Micah Parsons.
Yeah.
Maybe. I say TJ Watt. Watt can stand up. He can get down, uses his hands, great pass. I mean, Parsons an elite pass rusher. This kid's more than that. You've seen him jump up, tip passes, intercept. He creates havoc. He plays the run. He's good in the pass game. Tonight, Grant Smith is going to be an X factor for Liberty Center's offense.
Yeah, absolutely. He is a game wrecker. He lives in the opposing team's backfield. He will just penetrate.
So quick.
And it's like he'll line up across of a tackle, and the tackle won't even get a hand on him because he's just so quick and he uses the hand so well. That's a guy you have to keep an eye on. I expect them to move him around on the line tonight. Are we going to see him with Kellen Weimer? Maybe a few snaps, but I think they'll move him inside. They'll try to guess on maybe a strength to where they think the run game's going to go and move him to that side. So he is a chess piece that you got to keep an eye on, number 71, because that guy will wreck a game for you very quickly.
He's capable of turnovers, whether it's a chop sack, strip sack, interception. Columbus Grove, he made a
run
ginormous
game too.
He gets
he is
down
great
the line
in
of
the run
scrimmage.
game.
So Grant Smith tonight, I think a big challenge for Liberty Center. Another guy that returns for them that has been on the injured reserve a little bit here and there, Akavian Kreider, their middle linebacker. Again, this Patrick Henry team is really stout on defense. I think that's something we haven't talked a lot about. We think it's all offense with Bill, this year's team. And last year's team, I think, was a signature defensive football team. And when you turn them on film, everybody has great passion. Even the defensive backfield with lots of experience. They're all in the run game. They're athletic. You see a lot of guys want to be physical. You don't always see that out of Patrick Henry. They've been an offensive signature program historically. But to your point, Bill's built this into a defensive powerhouse.
Yeah, the front seven is very impressive. I mean, they don't give up much run game when you watch
saw
the
that
film.
last year.
Saw it last year. They got the 2 defensive linemen inside, and then Grant Smith, that chess piece that they move around, linebackers fly. And the secondary, I think all 4 of the secondary, they return. So those are players that have seen a lot of snaps. They're not going to be surprised by anything tonight, and they have the ability to stop our run game. I've said it again and again. They know how to scheme it up. So I expect them to focus on Liberty's run, make us a passing team tonight.
Spike, we talk about Bill Inseman, and he deserves all the roses or whatever they say, all the awards, all the positive talk. But Casey Moeller, 96-16 after taking over for the great Rex Lindgren. Oh, by the way, he's 7-1 against this Patrick Henry team. Rex maybe it was a stretch where he struggled against Bill. Casey has not, because of the things you've talked about, his focus, his business approach. He has not blown this game up. This is not a Super Bowl to Casey. It is corporate football. He is the CEO, and Casey Mueller has kept these guys very focused.
Right. It's when Inselman really Patrick Henry built a great record in some of our darker years, and it made us look bad. But in the last 10 years, Liberty Center's averaged 8.5 regular season wins. Patrick Henry 6.5. So the flow goes back and forth. But to sustain a program, it's what Rex built and what Casey Moeller, like you said, an executive CEO, buddy, he's the guy at the top. He's bigger than Jerry Jones.
He's bigger than Jerry Jones. He would say, Nick Miller would talk about Jerry Glanville, the opposite of Casey.
Oh, yeah.
Jerry Glanville. Let's talk about Liberty Center now tonight. This offensive line has been phenomenal. The thing I worry about, Jigs, I think we have all the pieces to do what's necessary to win a game like this, but we've come off 2 relatively easy football games. And I sometimes get concerned. Are you as sharp? Are you as prepared to see a team of this caliber? Patrick Henry brings in a regional final, state semifinal roster tonight into Kip Kern Field, Rex Lindgren Stadium. What's the mindset coming off of 2 kind of cupcake wins to a game like this?
Yeah, I mean, we've only played 1 4-quarter game so far. I think you could say the Eastwood game was. So obviously, your conditioning is a big factor in this football game, as well as Patrick Henry. I mean, there's been some games that they've not been close, that they've blown out. So conditioning becomes a factor, and certainly you're expecting guys that have been playing 2.5, maybe 3 quarters to play all 4. So cramping and those things can play a factor. I expect this team, Liberty Center, to be ready to go. This coaching staff, they continue to coach. We have depth to be able to get some reps and spell a guy if we need to. So I don't think that's going to be a factor for
one time, I'm going to give Coach Inselman a lot of credit, because what he has had to work with in some seasons, he's gotten the most out of his football
Tremendous
team.
architect.
What more can you ask for out of a coach?
Well, you also PH's opponents are only 4-21. So it's not like they've been tested. They were in 2 games. I thought Wasion played him exceptionally well.
Yep.
Last week,
right.
An 0-5 Wasion team really stretched Patrick Henry, and I thought that Columbus Grove game, I think, as we talked about, Grant Smith was the difference maker.
Yeah.
13 quarterback hits, 3 sacks, a pick.
Yeah.
He was just a dominant force in the Columbus Grove game. They left him one-on-one a lot. They let the younger tackles from Columbus Grove try to handle a player like that. Big mistake. I don't think you'll see that tonight. If you see Grant Smith line up, maybe on their right side, I think you see Baxter Barrett and those wings. Chip,
Yep.
You're going to get a lot of help there. But no bigger player to me tonight for Liberty Center's Caden Kreinbrink. I think we've been working on this passing game. Spike's talked about it in practice, the 7-on-7s. Patrick Henry might dedicate so many guys to the line of scrimmage that Caden Kreinbrink tonight and Ethan Gray and Jackson Lonizak and Isaiah Badenhop and Garrison Cruz out of the backfield.
Yep.
I think tonight's passing game is going to be a major impact.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, anytime that you got heavy run, you got play action, Lonizak is a guy that can sneak behind a linebacker very quick and get open. So
national anthem. We're playing the fight song, so I think we can finish up the preview. But those pass receivers tonight, Big, I think big key tonight.
There's going to be 8 guys that Patrick Henry is going to dedicate to the run game. And they're probably going to go man on the outside or a short zone and say, I'll give you a 5-7 yard pass. That's okay, because I can't let you get the run game going. I expect that to be the defensive game plan for Patrick Henry.
I think Patrick Henry will also focus on Garrison Cruz, putting a lot of carries in Thomas Muller's hands tonight. Garrison is just – I'm anxious to see Garrison Cruz tonight have to play with this kind of emphasis. And I think a lot of teams circle him on a scouting report. I think Bill Inseman will
Linebackers
focus.
keying on him.
Yes, almost spying number 30 tonight. So let's listen to the rest of the Liberty Center fight song and then the national anthem, and we'll bring it back, Spike, to finish up our KK Collision pregame.
Ladies and gentlemen, we live in a great country with freedoms like no other. To honor America and respect all those who have served this great country, defend these freedoms, we ask that you remain standing, remove your hats, and direct your attention to the flag as a color guard comprised of Liberty Center VFW Post 6596 and Gilbert Ballman American Legion Post 492 present our nation's colors, and we honor America and those who protect freedoms by the playing of the national anthem, Star Spangled Banner.
Spike, we just talked a little bit about the offensive emphasis for Liberty Center. Caden Crimebrink, those receivers, maybe even Garrison Hurst. I love saying Garrison Cruz out of the backfield. But let's talk about Liberty's defense. Those linebackers have been dynamite. They lead the team in tackles. Max Walker, Jackson Lonizak, Garrison Cruz, Baxter Barrett. That is a phenomenal group that will be called upon tonight to stop this run game from Patrick Henry.
You know, it's been forever. This is like linebacker university.
Kind of is, isn't it? Kind of is.
Liberty's always had kids that want to hit. They want to play smash mouth. They want to bring the game to you. You know, and that right there, that always sets the tone. Max Walker, now he's the lifeblood of this team. He's the spiritual leader. He's the push leader. He's the pull leader. This is the guy that makes things go. And then you've got Moeller back there as almost a second head coach as a safety. And the whole defense just kind of molds together like lava.
You're going to see Grant Smith tonight, usually wearing number 44, playing that outside linebacker position. But on offense, you're going to watch him. Maybe you caught this in the pregame. I did not. I've been watching 44 on film. They did get a return tonight. Trent Johnson, I think a big return for that offense. Here comes the youth football
hundreds
league.
And hundreds
Hordes.
of wild hordes pouring through here. It's youth football in Liberty Center, and that's one reason why the Tigers are great.
68 guys in the roster, and there's a big reason why Babs is this youth football. But getting back.
Here they come, those swashbuckling men in all black. It's the Liberty Center Tigers.
Grant Smith tonight, offensive tackle. But let's talk about the defensive backfield tonight for Liberty Center. You know, Tristan Rosebrock, 6 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. I thought coming into this game he had thrown a little bit more interceptions, but they're going to look at him tonight. You've got some big receivers tonight to throw to. In particular, you've got a Krieger kid who's been a big play maker for them all season long. Very athletic kid. this offense has some dynamic players, but the quarterback, I think, can be a threat throwing the ball vertically down the field.
Yeah, he's a guy that you're probably not going to be a run threat. They will roll him out, which will put some pressure on your snipers, corners to pick whether I'm going to stay in coverage or come up and play the quarterback run. But he's a nice deliverer of the football. Maybe not a huge power arm. He's not going to throw it 55, 60 tonight, but runs the offense well, finds the tight ends, finds the underneath routes, and he throws a pretty good ball.
Reed Krieger back tonight. He was a little banged up last week. There was some discussion midweek that he might not play, but he definitely is a guy that can win those 50-50 balls. Down the numbers, 9 cuts right down the field. He is a threat in the pass game.
Yep.
He can win anything 50-50. You've seen that on film. He's a real threat. How do you see our defensive backfield in that matchup there?
Well, he's a 6'3" kid that can elevate. I mean, you've seen him on the basketball court. He's a highly athletic kid. He's a guy that you could be in tow and then you can back shoulder. He can rise up over top of you. So important for the corners tonight, active hands. They've been playing the hands really well on the from the on the when the ball comes. So that's going to be the key. Let him rise up. That's fine, but play the hands, play through the hands, knock out. But he can create some problems on the outside.
Well, that finishes up the KK Collision pregame, and Liberty Center Spike wins the toss and defers, and here we go, right on defense, right where we want to be to start.
Yep, Max Walker averaging 5 yards deep into the end zone on his kickoff, so there's a weapon right there.
Cal Schroeder, number 4. Keep an eye on him. He's a playmaker out of the running back position. He is returning kicks. He's had some good returns so far this year.
Yeah. Now this dynamic kickoff team. I mean, we've got hitters and tacklers on this bunch.
Now, this is
Focus in. This
is
a big
pay-per-view on the coverage team. So let's see. Patrick Henry, very skilled though. A lot of skilled guys here. Anxious to see how we start this.
Approaches, gets a good foot into it. Comes down at the over the goal line. It's a touchback. It'll come out to the 20-yard line. Now right there, there's no returns, very seldom. And you start adding up 10, 15, 20 yards at a clip on special teams that we don't give them, that can add up to 70, 80, 100
Absolutely.
yards a game. And that's huge.
Jiggs, you talked about it in the podcast this week, kicking it through the end zone, starting at the 20, not the 35 or whatever they can return.
Huge
It's big
advantage.
numbers. Spike, you're dead right. That's a good start for Liberty. Max Walker is a weapon in special teams.
All right, so we've got Cifuentes. They're moving it to the hash. I assume Patrick Henry has the option to set it where they want.
Watch Bill Inseman all night, Spike, working officials, working that ball spot. He is a master.
All right, motion to the wide side of the field. Out of the eye, straight drop back. Looks to throw out there in the flats. That's going to be caught. Tackle immediately by Old Crew and Gray. But an 8-yard gain for Patrick Henry on first down.
Big hit early. That's what KC wants, Jiggs. They're going to catch some footballs, but they want to
Yep.
lay some licks tonight.
Nice little route combination there. Outside guy kind of runs off. Inside guy kind of runs that out. I think Patrick Henry's going to have to put the ball in the air tonight quite a bit.
Strong
Right.
tendency when they're under center to run, but that was interesting. Under center throwing it.
Yep. Again, under center, single setback. Give straight up the middle on a dive. And
First down.
probably about a 2-yard gain, enough to move the chains for the Patriots.
They won first down on that snap, Spike and Jiggs. 8 yards and second and short. They're going to want to possess this football.
Yep.
Otsego did it in quarter one against us very effectively. Patrick Henry, first down and for their first drive.
Got to keep these manageable. You can't get in third and long situations against Liberty Center's defense. I don't see Krieger out there. I know he got banged up a little bit last week. He may not be playing in this game.
You might have seen him early in some gym shorts. Wasn't sure if we'd see him tonight.
All right, out of the pistol. 2-step drop, fires, caught over there. 4-yard, 5-yard gain up across the 35 to the 36.
Patrick Henry will be very content at +5. Short throws. That's second and manageable for Bill Inseman. He'll take those throws if we're going to play off that far.
Yeah, I think you're seeing this quick passing game. That's going to be the key. No long routes, 5-7 yard hooks, curls, quick slants. I think that's going to be the key tonight.
Look for the vertical later in the sequence.
All right, 2 wide receivers to the wide side of the field. The ball on this hash mark. Out of the eye. Give it to the second
Oh,
back.
yeah.
Runs
Yeah,
right
great
into
play.
a buzzsaw there, and he's going to be stopped.
Cruz.
No gain on the play.
Garrison Cruz has had a tremendous year on
Weimer.
offense, but just blew that play up from the snout. 3rd and 5.
Weimer in on a few tackles so far, too. Very active from that tackle position.
Making plays, even though the tackles aren't there. Just no movement from the Patrick Henry front in the run game. Great play by Garrison Cruz.
Yep, leading tackler for the Tigers this year.
Watch the stick route here.
All right. 2 wide outs to the far side. Single setback, quick, underneath, on a slant, caught. And Patrick Henry moves it up across the 45-yard line, a gain of 7 yards. And the Patriots get their second first down.
Kiefer Holloway on a great slant. And, Tristan Rosebrook delivers a good ball. They want to throw it quick. Another first down. Clock running 9:36. Patrick Henry, their second first down.
That's some of this timing patterns. Patrick Henry runs really
West
well.
Coast,
Quick snap.
West Coast, yep.
Boom. It's out of your hands. That quick slant's tough for a corner to get on top of. A little bit of separation, pitch and catch.
All right. Moeller playing center field. Man defense, motion this way. Behind the center. Gives straight up the middle. Running room. Pounds his way down inside the 50 to the 47. Gain of 7 for the Patrick Henry Patriots.
Another good first down game. Little trap inside. And Patrick Henry, good mix.
I think they'll take that in the run game.
All day.
7-yard gain all day long. Run this clock down, shorten this game. Just to look like a dive there. Kind of hit that. And
Dive or a little trap inside. And 2nd and 3. Very manageable second down spike. Patrick Henry so far getting what they want out of this offense. Clock running here to 8:36.
Patrick Henry comes to the line of scrimmage. 2 to the far side, and now Patrick Henry is going to call a timeout. Not sure what they didn't like, but
Well, you can
play
see
clock was running down there, I think.
and he values that second and manageable.
Yep.
Did not want to give up the 5-yard penalty. So far, so good from Patrick Henry. Kind of what you thought from Bill. There's some balance there. They're running the ball inside. They're up under center. You see them a lot of shotgun jigs, but tonight, under center, throwing the ball, and a tendency where they like to throw it in those early downs. Pretty effective both sides of the ball here.
And these routes are pretty high percentage routes. They're not throwing fade balls where you're throwing it 30 yards down the field. These are 5 to 7 yard throws, which are normally the highest percentage throws you can have. So I'd like the game plan for Patrick Henry so far. They've mixed the run in well with the pass. And clock, man. It's clock.
hey,
that is the key.
You're coming into the black hole. You're coming into a highly regarded team. What better? Ball control, give the quarterback a little bit of that little swagger, a little
Take
confidence.
the energy out of the crowd. Patrick Henry right now just matriculating down the field, 2nd and 3.
All right, Tigers need to come up with a big defensive play. Now the Patriots show double wide out to either side with a single setback out of the under center. Flips it up high. That's caught and dropped down there near the 40-yard line. That would have been enough for the first down, but now it brings up 3rd down and 3.
Well, again, though, you get in 3rd down and, -5, pretty manageable in this offense, but little alligator arm right there. Liberty was closing pretty quickly.
You're seeing pretty good cushion here by our secondary so far. I expect that to get tightened up a little bit on these short routes.
Then you'll see them go vertical as they tighten the coverage.
It's a chess match. Let's face it. Try to get people out
This might be
into the open.
four down territory here.
All right, same double wide receiver set. Under center, dropping back.
There it is.
San
There's the first big
Marino!
play right there. Jackson Lonizak on a straight
Wow.
blitz. He was unblocked. And Tristan had no shots. Spike, you called it. Liberty needed a big play on defense. They got 2 in a row.
Yep.
Big shutdown. Now Liberty's crowd getting right back into it.
And the field position. We're down here around the 44, whatever it was. That might be 4 down territory, but now on the other side of the 50, they're in punt formation.
Big play. Big
Bryan,
call defensively there.
Matt Bryan dials up a blitz. It gets home. Big sack for Liberty.
High snap. Good. Line drive punt. That's going to come down, taken there
Out of room.
by Gray at the 15-yard line. Tries to get outside. Makes
like
a cut
this.
up the sideline. Dazzling move. Quickness
Yeah,
up
we got
to the
a penalty
35-yard
here.
line.
This is the
20-yard
15-yarders. I think we're going to get a
Ouch.
personal foul, probably Murdoch maybe. That's kind of what you don't want to see.
Well, we're going to get the ball at the 36-37, but if with a penalty on us, that will be ugly. Personal foul, Liberty Center. You know, big penalties you talked about it, Spike, and turnovers, can't have them early in this
15-yarder.
game. Well, was that a little bit of a scrum
I
there,
think
maybe?
it might have been a little bit late, potentially. Not sure. I didn't see it all.
Oh, boy.
But, man, how about these linebackers, their ability to blitz? It doesn't matter which one you send in any of the four, how effective they are. Lonazak, the guy was shot out of a can. Rosebrock, no chance there.
Shot. Keep your eye on number 71, Grant Smith.
Game wrecker.
There he is, Liberty Center. Spike, I liked at the ball at the 38. I don't like the ball as much at the 20.
No, no,
Yeah.
no. Well, you know, now there it was. You take what you got, you turn it back over, and put it in your favor. Tigers come out with a 4 wide receiver set. Ball on the Tiger hash mark here.
A lot of early formational scheming on some of these scripted plays by Casey.
We've got a wing left set with Kreinbrink all by his lonesome. Now motion. They're going to give it to Cruz. Cruz throws out a straight arm, cuts it up the middle, breaks one, and banks his way up to the 25-yard line.
And got to run away from Grant Smith. Had him lined up. Smith to the boundary, which is typically not where he lines up, Jigs. He likes the field. So maybe a little bit of an understanding of what they consider strength tonight. The two receiver side to the field. That's where you saw Smith line up.
Oh, you like that plus yardage on first down, second down, and 5. Tigers show trip receivers here to the wide side. One over there with a single setback Moeller. Now motion this way. They're going to give the pitch. Tries to get outside.
Boy, nice play
and a
there.
great defensive surge penetration. Lonazak on the jet sweep is brought down for a 4-yard loss.
Jake Bosselman, first-year player, got the penetration and made a big-time open field tackle, minus play. Negative play for PH's defense. This is what they do, Jigs.
That's it. Shoot gaps.
Going to take some chances.
That
Beat the guard
particular
to the spot.
play, the surge, the breakthrough, though they are good at that, at stunning our own offense. All right, Kreinbrink out of the gun, back to throw, has to run it, stays up, loses his balance, and the Tigers, wow.
Good start there by 59, Jake Bossman. He was the one that got pressure on Kreinbrink, made him kind of pull it down. This is some of the defensive pressure that Patrick Henry is going to put on you, make you uncomfortable.
Now
good first drive there.
That penalty flipped the field. Now we're going to punt. We're going to make contact at about the 12-yard line, so Patrick Henry is going to get some field position here.
Kreinbrink, the punter,
bounces.
Has it clean, though, gets it off, end over end. That's going to bounce at the 35-yard line, take a tremendous Liberty Center roll.
What a kick.
Wow, all the way down inside the 25 to the 24.
The penalty and then the negative play by Jake Bosselman. Patrick Henry's defense is quick, and they get to the football and they commit to the running game, and that's why they've always been a thorn in our side in the run game. Rex Lindgren continued to talk about execution. Patrick Henry just beat him to the punch tonight. Good first defensive stand.
Hey, good game plan.
Yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
This is scripted. We see this out of Inselman every season. All right, it was a 54-yard punt to flip the field's position, but now each team's been on offense. Now we'll see how Liberty Center reacts to what they saw in that first series. Patrick Henry with a double wide out to the wide side. Single setback. Under center. Drop straight back. Lofts it out there, and that's going to be caught and dropped for about a yard loss. Great defensive coverage. Great play.
Garrison Cruz gets so much credit on offense, Jigs, but he ran 28 yards to make a negative play on a quick pass. Really well done by Garrison.
Looked like a safety there. Just hunting things down. That guy can run.
Size, speed, got to the boundary and got him down for basically no gains.
Yeah, it looked to me like they had him for a good yard and a half loss. The spot doesn't indicate that, but at this point it really doesn't matter. All right, second down and 10. Ball at the 24-yard line. Uh-oh, busted play. Quarterback in trouble. He's just going to throw it away. Quarterback wanted somebody on a quick out. over here on this wide side. It wasn't there. Now 3rd down and long.
Now, Jigs, you talked about it. Tristan Rosebrook not very interested in running the football. No. He could have tucked that ball and maybe got himself a couple yards, but bailed on it. Business decision.
Bucky.
Throw it out of bounds.
You say that slightly vindictively.
I mean, he's 152 pounds. It's not a guy that's gonna head it up in between the tackles.
All right. Well, anything can go here. Ball to 24. 3rd down and 10. Double wide out either side. Quarterback 3-step drop. Fires it underneath. Caught. Down. Second effort gives him the 1st down.
And those are tough when you give up a 3rd and 10. And we had good coverage there. Ethan was there.
He knew it. It was stick route. Just got to make the tackle. That's a big completion there. Tick, tick, tick. Run this clock a little bit for Patrick Henry.
Liberty did such a good job on the first 2 downs. They won 1st down. They win 2nd down and give up a 3rd and +5. Good play call, and they run a lot of those stick routes and comeback routes, Spike.
Yes, tough to guard, tough to defend. Okay, quarterback again under center. Motion, back to the football. Tigers adjust. They give it second back through off the right side. He's going to be stopped. It's going to be a loss on the play. That's a smackerino.
Yeah, Cifuentes in on that play, and you had a couple of guys. You had Lonizak, and who was the third guy? Oh, Houston had Moeller sticking his head in the run game from the safety position. All I saw was black uniforms. I saw no one in white, and they're just not going to run the football that easily against Liberty Center's front
they give
tonight.
him a lot of forward progress on that. I thought he was stopped for about 2 or 3.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, if we went by your spots, well, we'd be 3rd and +15 all the time. You're biased.
3rd and 20.
You're not a referee down there, big boy.
Baby. All right, double wide out to either side with a single setback out of the gun. 3-step drop. Looks to throw the home run ball. That's going to be nowhere involved.
Great coverage.
Yep, got a push in the back well after the play was over.
You know what? Without Reed Krieger in this game, that's a big, big element. They're not going to have that oversized receiver that's athletic. Great job by Ethan Gray in coverage right there.
Right on top of that receiver, ran the route for him. That's exactly what you want from your corner position. When you get on top as a corner, you can tap the brakes, and then you can slow that receiver down. And
you wouldn't play that way,
of course.
Come on.
Get him to the boundary, slow him down.
Great play, Ethan Gray. 3rd and long again.
All right, 3rd and 10, ball at their own 35-yard line. Motion back here, quarterback under center. The same 3-step drop, and we're going to have the play blown dead. It's going to be a procedure call against the Patriots.
A big penalty there. So there it is again, Spike. Liberty has a big penalty. Now 3rd and 15. Not a ton of plays in the 3rd and 15. Liberty likes to cover more than they like to blitz or all-out blitz. So sometimes you see those screens. Eastwood ran some really effective screens.
Yep.
Watch a screen here, draw something like that.
They have done that successfully.
3rd and 15. So we'll see if Matt Bryant draws up a blitz, Spike. Watch the screen.
Stick route, not as logical here, since 15-yard would be like more of a 5-step drop.
Tigers with 5 defensive backs in there. 3-step drop.
Got him.
Fires hard over the middle. That's tipped. It's intercepted.
He's going to go.
He's going out.
He's got a cordon of blockers ahead of him. Down to the 20, the 10,
yes, sir.
It's a Liberty Center Tiger touchdown.
Man, they tried to make that throw in a tight spot. Liberty all over, great zone.
Who got the
Gary Cruz.
Gary Cruz, who's been all over the field. And there again, there's that man, JT Old Crew on
plays,
the tip.
baby.
Boy, you knew you were going to score some offensive touchdowns, but now you're scoring defensive touchdowns. Maybe Boom Boom could show us that one. Phenomenal coverage.
Gary almost got that one himself. He got 2 hands up, tipped it. Talk about getting into your zone as a linebacker.
What a play.
Great job.
What a play.
All right, Kruger the snapper, the holder, crime brink, has to dig for it. Got it down in time. Kick is up by Walker. Good. So Liberty Center takes a 7-0 lead.
He's trying to throw that thing inside the hash. And look, Garrison,
play.
boom, with the tip. Man, there it was, opportunistic. And then look at the wall by the defensive line. Great block by Weimer off the tip. And then, golly gee, JT Okru, an open field is untouchable. Liberty.
Now,
love that early touchdown.
We will see now, because it looks like Patrick Henry's going to have to throw the football.
Yes.
And sooner or later, that's exactly the kind of things that as a defense, if you stay with it, those things happen.
I did not like the snap and the operation on the special teams, the missing the extra point, Spike. Those points sometimes in this game really matter in the fourth corner. Want to watch that. That missed extra point was a little uncomfortable.
Well,
I went by the assumption it was good. I didn't even watch the thing.
We've talked a little bit about the importance of the run game against Liberty Center. You can't expect Tristan Rosebrock, the 6'2 junior, to just step back and throw it 30 times without throwing in harm's way. And
Jackson Lonizak gets a big play, and then Liberty Center's pass defense, as you said, you started to tighten up that cover 3 zone a little bit, and Garrison Cruz having a big night already.
How about JT going to the house? Sometimes those easy little balls right in front of you, those aren't that easy.
Right.
When it's just hovering, way to secure the catch, take it all the way back. Good job, JT Okru.
God, you love defensive touchdowns, man. You
beautiful.
love them.
All right, Walker sets, delivers the high end over end, and that's going to hit 4 yards deep in the end zone. Patrick Henry will start on their own 20. Well, we've seen Patrick Henry's offense 2 series. We've seen Liberty Center's defense react. Now here at with just under 4 minutes in the first quarter, now we're seeing the chess match. The game's starting to tighten up a little.
Like early Liberty not allowing them to run. They had one nice play, a little dive trap, something in the middle of the field. Everything else has been negative. Liberty's defense right now good against the run.
All right, Patrick Henry will move the ball to the near hash mark. They did that on the opening kickoff of the night.
Isaac Orth back in at a sniper. Good to see him back after a couple weeks.
Patrick Henry has been very tendency run heavy under center, but not tonight, Jigs. They've thrown it more than they've run it under center.
Yep. Baxter Barrett in there, giving Max Walker a breather.
All right, they had a quick change of plans. Got a new guard in there. Now just a straight dive right up the middle, and nothing there. That might be a loss of a yard.
Cifuentes, Dippy in there getting the initial hit, and then Jackson cleaning it up, and then a bunch of Tigers getting hats on the ball. Good read. It's a lot of film study from these guys. I like the way Cifuentes has played all year long. He's been very good at the zero technique nose tackle.
Yeah, that guy, you just can't move him on the inside. He is just a stout, solid body that you can't move.
Nick Miller loves the fact he's a wrestler. He's good with his hands, good leverage.
Now they've got Hunter is that nose tackle with Cifuentes and Kellen Weimer. Snap, good. Looking around, throwing. He's got the home run ball again, and the Tigers have
What a catch! What a catch!
What a catch over the shoulder! Willie Mays in 1954 never did it as good.
That
was Moeller, I believe.
Yes, it was. Thomas Moeller over the shoulder, but more importantly, Tristan Rosebrock just throwing it up into double coverage. The pre-snap read, you get a deep safety, and you're running that guy across the field on that deep crosser. All over that route, Jigs.
Man, I didn't think Thomas was going to get there. What a job to track that thing down and make the pick. Great job, Thomas Muller.
All right, more traditional lineup. Cruz on the right. It's given off to Muller behind Cruz. Cuts to the outside. He's got a running lane. And finally brought down inside the 50, down to the 46. It's going to be a gain of 8 yards for Liberty Center.
Thomas Moeller off tackle, and a really nice job by the wing and the tackle on the right side. Getting a good handle on Grant Smith. You haven't heard his name a lot. I really like that right there. Good job by the Liberty Center offensive line.
That was behind Bockelman,
and Barrett was out there at wing handling Grant Smith.
Schwager. All right, now out of the gun with a double wide out to the far side. Barrett the wing on the left. He's going to keep it right up the middle. Is out of the gun and maybe a yard on the play up or down to the 45-yard line.
I think Patrick Henry likes the Wildcat. They're looking for 30 anyway. Yep. They feel good about their matchups, offense and defensive line. I like us better there, but I'm sure Bill likes his guys, so that makes it a little easier to key on 30 when he's the only guy in the backfield.
By the way, Sawyer Bockelman is in the lineup a lot tonight. Gabe Clapp was out about all week with a bad flu, so he may be used sparingly. That's why we've got that change. Now Barrett motions over to the far left on the wing. Cruz on the right, Moeller on the left, pitch to Cruz. Cruz leaps over one, has running room.
Good block,
pitch it to
Max
the outside.
Walker.
Great downfield block. He's at the 20. You can forget about that one at the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's another Liberty Center Tiger touchdown.
There it is again, left side, offensive line and wing just pounding down. If you've got to get Garrison early in the sequence, because once he gets to level 2, it's over. He explodes, and there's nobody there. That's power off tackle run right there.
Looked like
Here's
a
the replay
power
real
toss.
quick. Oh, we missed it, but look at the number of guys watching Garrison win that down the field, but great job on the left side right there.
One at the line of scrimmage. Yeah. All right, good snap there. Kreinbrink grabs, gets it down. Kick is up and good. Kreinbrink still had to reach to his right, or not. Kreinbrink still had to reach to his right, but got it back down in time for Walker to knock it through.
I'm just telling you right now that when you're running off tackle and you've got tackle, tight end, wing, blocking down and then getting the second level, can't quite get it. You can see it there. Jackson Lonizak also lines up down. There was nothing there.
No,
he got to that second level. Safety started to fill corners.
Gary had the hurdle.
Bad matchup right there for a safety or a corner against Garrison Cruz. What a run.
And we talked about kind of the powers being a key in this matchup.
There was.
A lot of times he's pulling guards, slow developing plays against Patrick Henry's penetrating defense struggles. That's just man down, just everybody down, man on man. No pulling in that power sequence right there, and big hole.
The pulling of the guards, sometimes you can junk that up and game that up and blitzing them. Liberty staying home, playing power football off tackle. I like it because that's the way it looked last year in the fourth quarter.
Yep.
You know, when we powered them up for the win. Number 19, a lot of 34, 35 powers last year.
Meet that guy in the hole.
Oh, boy. Luck. No thanks.
All right. A minute 22 left here in the first period. Walker approaches. Puts the foot to it. Boy, he got that one. He got that baby. That's about 6-7 yards deep in the end zone. And once again, Patrick Henry is going to trot their way out slowly to the 20-yard line.
And now 13-0, and now Liberty Center, Spike, feeling a little wind underneath the wings at the back here.
Baby.
That running game looked real good on those snaps. Liberty Center
and you know
starting to be more dominant.
It's starting to get a little darker. That black hole, the pit, the tough atmosphere that you got to play in when you come to Liberty Center.
This is a big drive here.
Coming together.
Big drive for PH Jigs. They got to answer sometime here.
Under the center, single setback, drop back, throws on a quick slant over the middle, caught, hit. It's a gain of 17 yards and a first down up across the 35-yard line.
I was just going to say that's what I would get back to. Quick passing game, slants, quick outs, get the ball out quicker, throwing the football down the field. That's been 2 turnovers in a row.
They
get
got
the
away
confidence
from it.
back for your quarterback. Nice little call there, Patrick Henry. That quick slant, man, it's a tough route. It is a tough route to cover.
It's a tough route at all levels of football. All right, so PH now with the 2 wide receivers to this side. Here's right up the middle, and that's not going anywhere.
Dippy.
That's going to be a loss on the play.
Logan Cifuentes again. He's immovable. They are really struggling to move him in there, and I'll tell you, Layden Biederstedt is losing that battle to Logan Cifuentes every snap. Wow, Dippy's playing good tonight.
Yes,
he is.
Yes, he's been a block all year.
We saw this on film a little bit. Patrick Henry's inability to establish the line of scrimmage in the run game, which is surprising because you see the size of some of those kids and you see the production on defense, but they got to start getting a push here.
All right, 2nd down and 10 from the 35-yard line. 5-step drop, has time, throws it over the middle, caught on another crossing route, moving down the sideline, and finally Badenhop got a hand around an ankle and kind of pushed him, losing him balance and out of bounds, but inside the 35-yard line. So Patrick Henry, always explosive here. Big play, and they're down to the 31.
He looked early, didn't see his guys, but no pressure, comfortable. That pattern elongated, and all of a sudden, boom, big play PH now inside the Liberty Center 35.
Best throw of the night for Rosebrock. Kind of let him clear from Max Walker, that tight end, or that linebacker there. Nice throw right in behind the linebackers.
All right, single wide out to either side. Tight end right, give off the left side, and once again running into a buzzsaw. That's only going to be a yard on the play. Sonnenberg in on the stop, along with Cifuentes and Backelman.
Sort of Backelman, big play there.
Attention Tiger fans, it's time for our dash for cash.
Well, we're gonna go to our sponsors here. End of the first quarter. Liberty Center 13-0. Give it to Boom Boom.
This 2025-26 Tiger Sports Live broadcast is brought to you by KK Collision, Meyer Badenhop Insurance, Affinity IT Group, Pisanello's Pizza, Ohio Asphalt Paving, Swanton Welding, Davis Farm Services, Holgate Metal Fab, Gerald Grain, Hill Asphalt, Mason Hill Construction, Engler Auctions, Dental Health Associates of White House in Sylvania, and Fessenden Hardware of Swanton.
All right, we're back after the quarter break. Patrick Henry on a 35-yard pass play on the crossing route. That play stopped for a 1-yard gain, so Patrick Henry now faced with a 2nd down and 9, ball at the Liberty Center 30-yard line. Field tightens up a little now. Double wide out to either side, single setback. Under center, 2-step drop, throws it caught out there and dropped, I believe.
Ball may have been tipped a little bit by Kellen Weimer. A lot of size there at the 3 technique tackle, or they call it defensive end in this 3-man front, but good job. Now we're 3rd and 9. PH may be looking at 4-down territory here.
I mean, I like the play design. Once again, short passing. He's thrown those out routes effectively, not into danger. Got to have that, I think. Mitch Prigge would put you up 3rd and short, 3rd and long now.
All right, double wide out to the wide side over here. Single setback out of the gun. 3 steps, looks, has
Tight
time,
end.
throws it underneath, and that's going to be hit right there. He breaks 1 tackle. Great effort by the receiver, but the Liberty Center Tigers swarmed to the ball, brought him down on the 2nd hit, and that'll bring up 4th down and about 3 to go.
Trent Johnson, the tight end, a big weapon. You know, that route cleared, through to the numbers. Good throw by Tristan Rosebrook, and now at 4th and 3, very manageable opportunity for Patrick Henry to convert.
I don't think they'll take a chance on trying to run the ball against.
Quick throws.
No.
Quick throws.
Yep, it'll be
Stick route here.
That quick look-in pass, perhaps. All right, double wide out to either side. Tight end on the right. Straight drop. Here comes pressure. Sagarino! Bingo, baby! Pow! Wham! Bam!
Patrick Henry looking for
Gary!
a horse collar. May have had a case to that. See, the staff went ballistic, but Liberty turns him over. And again, a timed blitz wasn't picked up. Gary wins that. Those linebackers, Jakes, really get home quickly.
Yeah, they're effective blitzers.
Again, we see our defensive gurus make adjustments. Two pressures and 2 sacks. It makes a huge difference. Liberty Center with the ball now at their own 30. Give off. And Kreinbring never was able to get rid of the ball. He's thrown for about
Grant
an
Smith.
8-yard loss.
Welcome to Grant Smith. He won that snap so quickly. He was playing inside and got right to Kreinbring. It almost
took the
tomahawked him
Yep.
out of his hand. You talked about it. He will turn you over. Caden Kreinbring was very lucky there. He got right inside. I mean, that was lightning quick for Grant Smith.
Unblocked.
2nd down and 17. The ball back at the 23. Tigers send wide out, whole crew, and Badenhop wide to this side. Single setback with a wing left. Bad snap.
Oh, boy.
And it might have been tipped by one of the Tigers, but never got back. And now Liberty Center looking at probably playing field position now. 3rd down and about, 10,
They're
20,
playing-
probably 27 yards to go.
Now they're playing Grant Smith now inside Jigs to get off the ball, and you saw our left guard cut him there. But again, havoc. He could play any of those any of those defensive line positions and come up with big plays.
Was that a guard, our guard, that hit the ball, I believe?
I'm not sure.
Okay, Kreinbrink with a double wide out to either side. Now motion Lonizak back this way. They're going to throw it up underneath the Gray. They get a block out there.
Got a flag. We might get a 15-yard penalty against Patrick Henry on a roughing the passer.
Wow, that would be
Backbreaker.
really something.
Well, we had a flag out here on the tackle, too. It could have been a clip.
I'm surprised we went to the air there. I was expecting a run.
They wanted to
like
isolate Ethan with one block, but that is again,
Is that
penalties
right?
and turnovers.
Wow.
And I think that's going to give Liberty an automatic first down on there might have been.
I think they got a hold, too. Looks like.
Going to be offsetting
maybe.
They're having a conversation about it.
Yeah, we may have got a clip out there on that lineman that comes out and tries to get a hit.
Well, the
that's
personal
that's a play they run a lot in practice.
The personal foul, though, was post-possession. I'm anxious to see. That's when those flags came out after the play was kind of ending.
Should be first down anyways.
Should be an automatic first down after a walk-off, so we'll see. Maybe they'll walk the hold off against Liberty. Let's see the call. Personal foul. Ooh. They're going to call an illegal chop block there? Is that what that was? I didn't see that.
I think that's roughing. Isn't that roughing the passer?
I thought maybe it is. It didn't look.
Man, you just cannot do that. Cannot have those plays. You get a stop, Patrick Henry, and then you bail out.
Third 25 spike.
Wow.
Handed Liberty a first down.
Killer. Those are killer.
From the spot of the foul, so now the Tigers right back in business on their own 32-yard line. They'll shift over now with Barrett, the wing on this side. Give right up the middle and not much running room there. Patrick Henry met that at the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard on the play.
Number 3, Thomas Mueller carries the ball.
Well, they are moving Grant Smith all over the place, just like you talked about, Jigs. Inside, outside, to the field, to the boundary. He's just such a dominant player.
Again, this week in practice, Liberty worked on that to recognize where he was going to be. That was an integral part of their practice. All right, Tigers with trip receivers to the far side. Out of the gun, Kreinbrink drops back, throws it, got a man open. Just overthrown. Good coverage. I said open, but coverage was pretty good. It would have taken a
great
pinpointer.
Well, Jackson Lonizak is so physical and explosive that
I like that.
We do too. He rolls a little bit away from that route and then comes back to it. Had a one-on-one with Kiefer Hollow. Was it at Grant Schwab? So Liberty matching up. I think maybe it was Kiefer on this side.
But just giving him outside and letting him use his physicality. He can be an outside receiver as well.
We've got Isaiah Badenhop and Gray wide out to the far side. Wing left set. And motion on Liberty, I believe.
Got him wide open.
Home run ball, got a man wide open, just overthrows him. Gray was open down there at the 40. But I believe that's coming back anyway.
Can you decline this? They didn't blow it dead.
Well, I think it's going to be a false starter. I'm not sure. I was wrong on the last one.
I don't think you can decline a false start, can you? You don't let it play out in high school like the pros.
Getting a little sloppy here with penalties and negative plays for the Tigers. Yeah, false start. Yep, he declined it.
Interesting.
Fourth down.
Liberty Center charged with a false start. Penalties declined.
Well, that drive stalls. We get out of a bad penalty, and then we get bit in the butt again. So, Ryan down and 9.
Ryan Miller saw something. We had a wide open Isaiah Badenhop. I mean, running free.
Cole Spangler, the up man. Low snap, good grab. Gets it off. That may have been tipped. Ball hits the 30,
roll.
and it'll take a great Liberty Center roll down inside the 20-yard line, down to the 18.
Now you're hearing the Patrick Henry staff down to our right talk about catching the ball, and you catch it, that's plus 11 or 12, a 12-yard roll spike. And Casey talks about it all the time. Make the play. Don't let the ball hit the ground. Big problem for Patrick Henry. Good punt.
Another great punt. 54 the last time, 49 here.
Yeah, that's just impressive.
And he had a lot of pressure, too. That ball almost could have been maybe tipped.
Heck of a roll.
All right, now 8.5 to go. Liberty Center leads 13-0 in a kind of a up and down washboard type of ball game here. Patrick Henry with the ball back at their 18-yard line. Out of the gun, looks one way, throws the other, got a man out there, and that's caught. 9 yards upfield. The Tigers gang tackle him over there on the sideline. But tackled up there at the 27. It'll be 2nd down and 1. That ball was in the air a long time.
It was. Good throw there by Tristan Rosebrock. He went hashed. He was on this other hash and threw that all the way across. That is a dangerous throw, but put it right on the money.
Great seeing Orth back in this lineup, Jigs.
Yep.
Yeah, that gives us a lot more depth. All right, fumble in the backfield. Rosebrook is just going to have to fall on it. So the Patrick Henry Patriots just lost 8 out of the 9 yards they picked up on first down.
Well, and Spike, they just can't afford these big negative plays to stay in the game. And just
it's been a little sloppy both ways. Now, just under 8 minutes running along here in the second quarter, 13-0. Patrick Henry facing a 3rd down and 8. They'll spread out 2 to this wide side, 2 to the far side with a single setback. Straight drop, 5 yards, toss it up there short, and it's going to be hit right away. And the Tigers with good coverage there. They're going to come up short. Picked up about 6 on the play, and it's going to be 4th down and a couple.
Garrison Cruz again on that with Isaiah Badenhop and JT Okru, but Cruz is running 25 yards to finish the play.
Yeah.
You know, he's struggling for the extra yardage, and Garrison adds
That's
a little.
That's a great job. I mean, look how short that is. 1 yard. If Garrison doesn't come over and help on that, he maybe gets that first down. Good job by Isaiah. Keep that in front of you.
JT
Go wrap
Okru.
up, make a tackle. Good job.
It's just a big stop by the Tigers.
Field position once again. Wow, if they were at midfield,
they have some
4th
fakes.
and 1.
They have some fakes in the repertoire here.
This may not be the spot, but
probably not.
They can kick it a little bit.
Line drive, and that's going to come up short. It's going to be grabbed on the bounce. Makes a great cut to the outside, and brought down by a grab of the jersey. Moeller was up against it because that ball come up short, and he had to stop. And then he was able to get it on one
But he
bounce.
did the right thing. The PH kid lets the ball go at extra 13 yards. He doesn't. He gets up the field for a yard or two. Those are the game of inches that Casey Moeller coaches. Great job by Thomas Moeller.
That's a senior. He's not even back there very much. So to be able to be
there's a reason why he was there. That was
drive for Liberty Center. They've got the ball at their own 42-yard line.
Tigers get the ball at half. Remember that.
All right, Barrett now sets up wing right, now shifts over, now he's the wing left.
Grant Smith
you got
inside.
Moeller on the right, Gary on the left, give to Gary up the middle, and he runs in. No, breaks one tackle, spins out of another one. Gary Cruz with a scintillating 2-yard run. What power, what burst, what ballerina.
Grant Smith on a heavy pinch. You know, Grant's playing that 0-1-2-3, and they're going to move him around. He's so athletic. Those 2 tackles have been good as well, but all eyes on number 71, Grant Smith.
When we go tight like that, you can see. I mean, they got a 5-man front, 2 linebackers, and that safety's close. There's your 8 guys within 5 yards.
Double wing set, empty backfield.
There's your Wildcat.
It's going to be Wildcat.
Good kick out by
Cruz
Swaggart.
Looking for run. Breaks one at the line of scrimmage. Carries 2 more tacklers. He battles his way. Drives his way. He turns his way down across the 50. An 8-yard gain, and that's going to move the chains.
Well, it was more of that power look.
Timeout for an injured player.
Backs are down here. Hopefully nothing serious.
It was at the end of the play there. Chip Baxter likes to run off the field, so I don't know that I like this at all. We'll just have to see. We're down a wing, obviously, with Tyler Roars being out.
That's
good.
It's good to see right there.
Back up and moving.
You know, in our house, you're either hurt or injured, and hurt doesn't count. So you better be hurt, really injured in the Barrett residence. Beatrice Barrett lived by that rule. Baxter has to live by a.
So basically, you're going to say, okay, you didn't blow your knee out. Why didn't you get up?
Get
off
up
the field?
I don't want the attention, and that's.
Most running backs would have had 1 yard gain. Gary battled through that hit at the line of scrimmage and then carried 3 tacklers for 4 more yards.
Garrison Cruz is an absolute beast, and there's not a lot of answers in
No.
Northwest Ohio for number 30.
You're right, Spike. They had him dead to rights there,
rights.
and he just made it happen.
All right, Cruz comes back out onto the field. 5:55 clock running. 1st and 10 Liberty at the Patrick Henry 48-yard line. Tigers show a single wide out here. They're going to run some power off this side.
Ooh.
Oh, a great
Nice
hit
fill there.
coming back up from the
Yeah, Cole
deep
Spangler.
secondary and
Cole
no gain
Spangler.
on the play.
Spike Cole doing a good job for Baxter coming in, getting the initial hit there, but then let his guy go. He makes the tackle. That wing position, Tyler Roars, Baxter Barrett, Cole Spangler, those guys are big-time blockers,
Gotta
and when they
block.
miss,
Yep.
the defense gets them.
All right, Badenhop spread out wide over here. We've got a wing left set. Cruz under center. Cruz give to the first back, Moeller. Moeller on a line plunge. He'll get a couple. It'll make it 3rd down and 8 at the 46.
You know, PH.
Now, I'm sorry for Button, but do you play for 2 downs here?
Well, I think Liberty likes field position. They're going to get the ball at half, and if they can get Patrick Henry inside the 15-yard line,
okay.
Casey is aggressive. You might see Rex Lindgren love to fake punt on
He did.
the opponent's side
Yep.
of the 50, but let's see if Liberty can pick this first down up.
All right, we got a wide out over here. Man in the slot with a wing to the far side. Crimebrink rolling left. In trouble, has to get rid of it.
There it is, pass
And we're going
interference.
to get a pass interference call on Patrick Henry.
JT Oldcrew on the comeback there. Is that JT?
No, I think it was,
Was that
Gray, Ethan Gray, I
Ethan Gray
believe,
on
on
the
the
comeback?
comeback. Pretty good delivery there by Crimebrink. He had that defensive end or linebacker barrel
hanging
down,
all
and he gave him
over
a
him,
chance.
I think it was it was an extended mugging. It
Yeah.
wasn't something like violent. It was just
On
no
you.
space, a lot of physicality, and good route, by the way, by Ethan Gray there.
That's his route,
Yeah,
man,
it
that
would have been
comeback.
enough for the first down anyway. They ran the route correctly.
Well, now Liberty is in business. Remember, Spike, Liberty gets the ball at half. So a touchdown on something like this drive could mean a lot for the Tigers.
All right, Tigers have Gray and Badenhop spread out wide to the far side with a wing left. Crimebrink, straight drop.
Good
Slants
ball.
over the middle. That's caught by, wow. It was 2 or 7. I couldn't get the number, but caught.
Ethan
Spun
Gray.
out of it. Gray spun out of a tackle, got loose, dropped a little ground, but battled back, picked up 3 tough ones.
Ethan Gray, again, you've always said it, really good in the open field. He's very creative in his routes. Loose. He's not a burner, but he always wins.
Yep.
You know, that's a difference between a 40 in July and the game, and he plays it well.
Yeah. All right, 2nd down and 7. Ball at the Patriot 28-yard line. Oldcrew wide out over here with a double wing package. Motion, Barrett. Drops back to throw. Has time. Got
No
a man
way.
out there. Caught by Lonazag at the 20.
Absolutely not a
Contact.
hold.
Cruz, no,
Get off.
10. Breaks
Get
a
in
tackle.
there.
Breaks another tackle. He's into the end zone. It's another Liberty Center Tiger touchdown.
Oh, the Patrick Henry staff throwing hats,
No way.
really upset.
No way.
But that was
Weimer
not.
rode him down. We'll see it again. That was not a hold.
We'll
way.
watch that replay. Grant Smith cuts in. Here it comes. Here comes Grant Smith.
Watch
Ooh.
60. I don't know.
I don't know, maybe a little bit, but Grant was looking for the flag.
How about Gary just breaking tackles?
Yeah.
Don't get that guy in open field. Look out.
I'm telling you, if you're a corner or safety, you got no shot at number 30. He runs through all
Good
that.
snap, good hold, kick on the way, high end over end, good! Liberty Center leads it now 20-0. And we're playing good football, but we've had some mistakes, and we've had a few of those things we talked about before the game. Penalties, turnovers, Patrick Henry shooting themselves in the foot a few times here.
Well, I'll tell you what, Patrick Henry has to play a perfect game, and they have played an imperfect game. A big pick six, big penalty, not very good pre-snap read on the blitzing, giving up big negative plays. Liberty starting to to lock in the screws here on defense.
Yeah, you cannot make mistakes against this Liberty Center team because they just are so fundamentally sound on all three facets of the game, and they just put you in uncomfortable situations. You got to make plays when you got opportunities.
And Spike, I will tell you, you have seen this for a long time. You have seen decades and decades of play at Liberty Center. Garrison Cruz is not going to be brought down with an arm tackle. You need a gang tackle to get 30. And when he gets in the open field and in front of some safety or some small linebacker or corner, book it. Book it, touchdown.
Book it, Dano. Yeah, that first tackle he broke was simply power. He was tied up. He kept them legs pumping and just ground his way through
No
there.
answer for Garrison Cruz.
No.
There's no answer.
No.
We knew that, but it's really being exploited tonight.
Yep.
And Grant Smith trying to do everything he can to get a turnover, but Liberty.
Oh, a little short. That's going to come up. It's going to hit at the 12. Grabbed on the first bounce. The 75 center tries to take it around the far end, the Patrick Henry side, and the ball returned up to the 30-yard line.
Number 4, Kyle Schrader with the return.
Interesting score. Boom, boom. Just show me here. Ironton and Wheelersburg, big one down south, tied up at 7.
Yeah, both undefeated, yes.
31-yard line.
You know, I didn't see that play. It was interesting. Kellen ended up coming back inside. I don't know if that wasn't his primary block, and then he came back in to get Smith there to kind of make that last block to spring that play open. We'll have to watch that one back on film.
All right, Patrick Henry with a double wide out to either side. They're going to throw it to the underneath man. Liberty
Great
Center's
job,
got it
Orff.
covered, and they smother him back there a yard behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, some personnel confusion pre-snap, but Orth gets on the field and makes a great play. Fabulous job, Baxter Barrett down the line of scrimmage to finish. Yep. Liberty does a great job of tackling and finishing with a number of guys, 0 yards, not 2.
Now with 3:08 to go. With 3:08 to go, clock running. Patrick Henry trailing by 3 scores. They've got to kick it off. They may come up here with some fireworks. They may try to stretch this.
They got to do
now.
whatever they can to
They
stay in
have
it.
to make
Don't
something
give
happen.
Liberty the
Yeah,
ball
you
with a
can't.
minute to go.
Nope.
Well, play blown dead.
Another timeout.
And it's Patrick Henry. I believe they called their second time out of the quarter.
Well,
of the
and this
half.
is Spike. You know, we talked about Reed Krieger not playing tonight. This would be a Reed Krieger type of situation where you got 6'3 plus on the
Vertical,
outside.
go.
You could throw him deep, but they don't have him, and he's bailed them out on some of these plays so far this season. So we'll see what Patrick Henry has up their sleeve here on second
Bill
along.
needs to generate something on offense, and this Patrick Henry first half looks a lot of. They play good defense. You know, they've made some key stops, good Q1. But, man, this offense has sputtered. Liberty's made big plays.
Yes.
Patrick Henry has shot themselves in the foot a little bit. But I think you're gonna see something here down the field. They've got to make something happen.
Well,
in the passing game.
when we get you down 20-0, then we turn you into a passing team, and you've got to pass it. It's the only way to come back, and that's when the turnovers continue to happen.
Now, do you blitz? It's we've come up big twice, but with the situation, score, field position,
I'm probably
maybe
playing.
you don't.
I'm playing coverage here.
Okay.
Casey likes to cover, but Max Walker could be on a blitz, and he is. Here comes a little throw here.
Underneath. Tigers converge on
at
that.
that.
They're going to
Ethan
get him in the
Gray.
backfield. Now
Ethan
it's going
Gray.
to be thrown for a loss. Ethan Gray.
Yes, sir. Great job, open field.
Fight off the block.
Fought off the stiff arm. Fabulous job. Now Liberty, I think, calls a timeout.
Ooh. You know, Isaac Orth, great job there, too, from that sniper roll. Inside and out at that. Kind of made that receiver want to go back outside. Ethan fought off his block. I mean, that should have been a 2-3 yard gain, and that was a loss.
You know,
Ethan just stood right up there.
They work a lot, Spike, and I think you see this, the defensive backs shedding blockers
Oh,
and making
yeah,
tackles.
yes.
It's not just coverage back there, Jigs. You were a strong safety. You got to hit and finish and get guys to the ground. That right there was textbook
Impressive.
by Ethan Gray. We will have our halftime show, some statistics. We've got a special guest. I think it's Mason Like, record setter, cross-country runner will be up. Interview him. He's had a heck of a season.
Yes, he has.
Colby Strayer, I think we've got her on a mic. Colby, you got a mic down there somewhere?
Negative.
Well, Colby's also had a phenomenal cross-country season. 1-2 punch. Big play by Patrick Henry, Spike.
Boy, 3rd down and 12 now for PH back at their own 29-yard line.
Yep,
They're just going to give it right up the middle, and they're going to force Casey.
Easy timeout by Casey.
Uses a timeout.
That's a lot of time.
Oh,
Give
boy.
the ball back to Liberty here.
Oh, boy.
So the ball is around the 30-yard line with 2.5 to go. And Liberty Center looking to get the ball back, hopefully down around the 35 or 40-yard line, and that'll set them up.
That's a big-time opportunity for Liberty. They run this 2-minute offense in practice a lot. My expectation is Casey's going to go for it. I mean, why not? You're up 20 with the ball,
right,
and you can get control of this game early. Liberty's kind of been in control either. Jiggs, you kind of called this, kind of felt like Liberty might have just too much for PH to be in this. I kind of felt a little differently, but so far, Liberty Center dominating this game.
Yeah, you got to have a run presence against Liberty Center's defense, or they put you in uncomfortable situations and they turn the ball over. I mean, we saw it twice already. When you ask your quarterback to throw it 30 times, it's going to happen. You're going to turn the ball over, and we can strike quick on offense. We've shown it time and time again so far this season.
Caden Kreinbrink to Jackson Lonizak or Garrison Cruz. Get something to him in the open field. Very difficult.
Yep. And those
to
two
tackle.
blitzes, those calls were so opportunistic.
Matt Bryant doesn't miss an opportunity.
Yeah.
He's not a big blitzer. He's not a Blitzburg kind of guy, but very timely, well called by Matt.
All right, we've got 2 return men back here. Punt. It's end over end, and that's going to be take a big bounce. And, there looked like it could have been a block in the back.
What do we got?
You got something because you got all of the PH sideline just whining. Every coach whining. They're whining up here. They're whining over there. So you know something's going on. They worked as officials. They do. Bill Inseman is a master at working officials, and everybody on that sideline working, screaming, begging, got their hats out, begging for penalties every snap. We might have gotten one here. They're talking about blocks in the back and those things.
The punt
Holding.
was only 30 yards, but it was so short we didn't have a chance to come up and return the thing. And then it took the good bounce, and then we got the bad block.
Now, this is a tough penalty for Liberty. We're going to get that ball 35 plus or minus 30-yard line, and this is a big penalty for Liberty Center.
Yeah, that cost us probably 20 yards. Well, anyway, here we go. 1st and 10 at our own 20-yard line. We got a wide out to either side. Single setback, Kreinbrink under center. Kreinbrink back to throw. He throws a home run ball. Got a man out there.
He caught that. What a catch.
It's caught. Holy mackerel. What a play. They're battling for the ball.
Oh, they're going to give it to Jackson Lonizak, and I thought the PH corner won that ball.
Patrick Henry's campaigning for an interception.
It's hard to say. It looked like Lonizak came down and then was wrestled.
Yes, that's going to be the call that he had won the route in the air.
No, they're giving it to Patrick Henry now.
Yes, it is a first down for Liberty Center to the Patrick Henry 48.
Wow. Boy, there's been some close
calls here. A gain of 32 yards. Now the Tigers in their 2-minute offense.
You got to go fast.
They practice this a lot, Tiger fans.
A lot of time. Slow down.
Yep.
Timeout, Patrick Henry. And, I think you're right. I think the play was made by Jackson. He gets on the ground.
Right.
Then the PH defender starts to wrestle it away.
And we saw that go against us a few times this year with Ethan Gray.
Yes.
On those where it was like same possession and then kind of the rollover where the defender wins it.
Well, that was a great throw.
What
on the money. And then Jackson Lonizak
almost pinned it on his back.
Elite catch.
I wish we would have see that again because that was quite the catch.
What a great athlete. He's a sprinter. He's a leaper. He's a pounder. He's strong. He does it all. He goes up in the air, makes circus catches, and then he's strong enough to hang on to the football. That boy can play football.
Well, he elevated. He basically high-pointed that ball, Jiggs, and he possessed it to the ground, and then it may have been jarred.
The ref. I watched the ref.
Here's the throw right here. Boom Boom has it.
Nice.
It's a straight 9 cut. Boom. Let's watch the play. Trailing it. There's the catch to the ground, and then
it was wrestled.
Then it was wrestled after the catch.
And it looked, this ref on the far side, he was reaching for his flag. He almost wanted to throw an interference, did not.
All right, and Kreinbrink laid it up there where he could catch it. All right, Kreinbrink back. We show motion this way. They're going to run a jet sweep. They're running room there, and picks up about 7 yards. Boy, that was a good sprint there by Lonazak. Makes a big play and now turns it over. Or not turns it over, but churns it over for 6 yards. 1:46. Tigers still have a timeout.
Ooh, he's got the slant.
Play blown dead. They called a procedure on the Tigers.
Well, you know, we have Max Walker that could kick it 40 plus. So any points here, you know, really matters for us going into halftime if the operation works cleanly, unlike that first extra point. So Liberty with some key penalties here on this drive. You kind of can feel it developing on offense and then a penalty or whatever, you know.
Tigers need to get to the 28-yard line to get into Max Walker's range.
Yep.
Legitimate range, mind you.
Keep in mind, Grant Smith, you know, when he knows it's a passing down, this is when he can just pin his ear back and go. 71, keep an eye on him here.
Garrison Cruz
shifts over to the wing on the far side. Now goes in motion.
There he is.
Back to throw. Pressure. Has time now. He throws it. Only one man can get it.
Ooh.
He grabbed him.
Tell you what,
Maybe, but
lots of grabbing by the Patrick Henry corners.
Yeah.
A lot of grabbing there. Grab. Vince Lombardi, bunch of grabbing. A lot of grabbing.
Well, you saw Grant Smith that time. He kind of Olayed Backelman and he is right in there right away.
Well, he's knifing under. He's a bender. He can bend underneath that block.
You can't get that low to block him sometimes.
But he also lunges, lost his balance, became ineffective. And you know what? Senior quarterback. Work in the pocket.
Complete your composure.
Not let him get to him.
All right, Gray and Badenhop to the far side. Lonazak wide out over here. Out of the gun. Kreinbrink back. Here comes pressure. And Kreinbrink gets rid of it. And it's going to be incomplete. He saves the sack.
There's Grant Smith again. And, you know, like you said, Jiggs, when it's a passing down, Grant Smith turning it loose. He disrupted. That was his best series of the game.
Yep.
And he has given max effort, Spike. That's the best defender in the league.
He's a heck of a football player.
I think he was the defensive player of the year last year. He'll be the defensive player of the year this year. Good drive there by number 71, Grant Smith.
All right, Tigers going to punt this thing out of danger now from the 47. Takes his time, high, loader, floater, and that's going to kick out of bounds around the 15-yard line, I believe. So, Patrick Henry back in a hole now with under a minute left with no timeouts.
Well, Patrick Henry really needed a stop to stop the bleeding right there, and I think they saved themselves a blowout right there. Liberty gets any kind of score and the ball, Jigs. You could be looking at 30-0 and early in the third.
Well, and Patrick Henry come out of the half, you get a stop, get the ball back, go down and score. This is a brand new ball game. You got 20-7, and they're back in this thing. So.
Oh yeah. All right, they're going to take a knee, and they'll have to kill it one more time to get out of this first half. Tigers, albeit a couple of breaks, a couple of penalties, and a couple of turnovers, but Liberty Center owning the football field. In this first half, they lead it 20-0.
Well, they want to do something here. They want to get deep. You know, Casey's going to play some cover for Matt Bryan, everybody deep. But Patrick Henry wants to regroup on offense because what they've produced thus far has not been very much.
Well, and this game isn't out of reach enough to get the run game going. They just got to get something established in the run to not be so independent on the pass.
Well, Liberty Center spike up 20-0 at half, and it wasn't the prettiest thing.
Oh, no.
But they are in control of this football game, and what we'll do is we'll get some numbers here at halftime, watch the band a little bit, get Mason Like up here, but take us into halftime.
All right, there you saw it, kind of a wild and woolly, mistake-filled, a lot of big plays, but the Tigers managed to whale their way through there on some broken tackles with Gary carrying the load. 20-0 Tigers heading for the half.
This 2025-26 Tiger Sports Live broadcast is brought to you by KK Collision. Meyer Badenhop Insurance, Affinity IT Group, Pisanello's Pizza, Ohio Asphalt Paving, Swanton Welding, Davis Farm Services, Holgate Metal Fab, Gerald Grain, Hill Asphalt, Mason Hill Construction, Engler Auctions, Dental Health Associates of White House in Sylvania, and Fessenden Hardware of Swanton.
Howdy, y'all, and please welcome to the field the Patrick Henry Patriots Marching Band. Tonight's halftime performance is a tribute to the American West, featuring music inspired by Western films and frontier legends. We begin with an original piece titled Cheyenne, a Western fanfare that captures the spirit of the open plains and the resilience of the Western frontier. Written by Elmer Bernstein, remains one of the most iconic themes in cinematic history and is ranked number 8 in the American Film Institute's top film scores of all time. Here is the Magnificent Seven. begins with Malagueña. Its fiery Spanish style and bold, dramatic character reflect the cultural influences of the American Southwest, where the traditions of Latin America and the frontier often meet. Here is Malagueña. We close with the Ecstasy of Gold, composed by Ennio Morricone for the 1966 film The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. In 2009, the soundtrack was inducted into the Grammy Hall of Fame, and it continues to influence film music decades later. Here is the Ecstasy of Gold.
Back at halftime at Rex Lindgren Stadium, Kip Kern Field with Liberty Center up 20-0. The Patrick Henry Band plays here at halftime, but special guest here at halftime. A couple special guests. Mason Like, senior record setter, cross country runner, great week this week, and his head coach Kenny Barnes. And not a bad cross country runner back here watching the interview. They want to put her in this one as well. But Mason, great week for you. Record set for Liberty Center. We've been running cross country for a long time. Talk about the work you've put in to get this record.
It goes all the way into the summer, man. Plenty of miles, plenty of bike rides, walking. It's everything from eating right, sleeping right. A lot of work goes into running hard.
Certainly last year at the end of the track season, had some of your best races that kind of foreshadowed this year. And as a senior, you're really starting to feel it. And talk about the season as a whole, what you've accomplished. I mean, it's been a slow build, but this last week's been fabulous.
Yeah, starting first race, fell down, didn't run my greatest race, but going in week by week, been getting slightly faster, so it's going well.
Coach Barnes, you've got yourself some really good runners here, individuals. Colby Strayer on the girls' side, great team. Colby, your leader, but Mason, talk about Mason's work ethic and some of the things he's accomplished in his career here.
You know something, Scott? It's hard to take an athlete or to separate an athlete from a team, but the amount of extra work that he puts in, he's all the time asking me, hey, when we get done with this practice, do you care if I run another couple miles at home? And for instance, we did thousands the other night, and we had just done 6 of them. And he comes up to me and goes, hey, I want to do a time 400. Well, then he did a time 400, and he PR'd in that.
Nut job. Wants more.
Yeah,
he wants more.
And everybody in town sees him out running in the off season on his bike. I've never had an athlete that came close to having 600 miles in the summer, and between biking and running. And this year, Mason was one of them that accomplished that. So,
talk a little bit about your team. I mean, you've been fabulous. We're all watching. We're all following the records and the great meets. But talk about the team. I mean, he talked about running a pack, the training, the hours, what that means to you, and how's it help your performance?
Oh, the team's been great this year, running hard, and when you can practice with others running with you, it really just pushes along everyone, helps everyone out running harder. Doing great.
So talk about the last half of the season. You got some big meets coming up here, Coach, and talk about what your expectations are for the boys team and, Colby leading that girls team, what your expectations is over the next couple weeks.
Well, we know that we are the defending champion of the meet that we're going to this year.
We are the defending champion, yeah. Coach Barnes says. I love it. I love it.
We've got a title to protect. So the boys are aimed at and ready to go. They know what they have to do. They know Mason is going to be out front, but they're trying to pull themselves together and get closer to him. And then we'll finish up the regular season at Coldwater. And that's another great meet. We're going to see a couple of the league teams, a couple of the area teams like Tenora. But that finishes on a track, so you got 300 meters that it's flat out fast. And then we go the next week right to Wasion and run in the league meet, and we're going to contend for a league title for both the girls and the boys this year. So it's exciting. And then we're going to take it 1 week at a time, try to get as much out of these kids as we can get.
Now, certainly a lot ahead of you and some big meets ahead. Last question, Mason. It's been a great career. You are a big-time talent, one of the all-time greats, and maybe an all-time great that you've set the record. What does that mean to you? All the work, all the miles, all the seasons you've run cross country, you've set a school record. That's big time. What's that feel like to you?
It's a surreal experience. All the work that goes to it, just lifelong memories being built. It's great.
Well, we're excited to see the Liberty Center boys and girls down the stretch with Coach Barnes. Congratulations for being an all-time great, Mason. We wish you luck as you finish the season. Well done.
Thank you.
Back to the Liberty Center band here. We apologize. We had a great interview there, but Liberty Center band will take the rest of the halftime.
One of the most recognizable memes on the internet. Make sure you don't get egg rolled, not rolled. No, I got it. Rick roll. This is never gonna give you up. Silver Touch Medal, Ozzy Osbourne. This 1980s hit was off of Ozzy's debut album as a solo artist. The song deals with the subject of the Cold War and fear of annihilation that existed during that period. Its original release only topped out at number 50 in the UK, but after his recent passing, it peaked at 39, 45 years after its original release. Going off the rails on a crazy train.
Here we are back at halftime in Liberty Center with a 20-0 lead over Patrick Henry. Liberty number 1 in Division 5 in the AP, and I believe Patrick Henry number 1 in Division 7. Is that right, or number 1 in the region? Their region.
I think number 1 in the region for sure. I don't know about
all
the
state.
Though.
Maybe
Not
it's
sure.
a deeper ranking. Here comes Liberty Center. PH came out a little bit early. Here's the numbers at halftime, and this is kind of where Patrick Henry wanted to be in total yards. Liberty Center leads it 123-86 over Patrick Henry. First downs, Patrick Henry has 5. Those came early against Liberty. You talked about it, Jiggs. Liberty has not driven the football against this front. They've been opportunistic on the 2 turnovers PH has given Liberty Center. Liberty Center, 58 yards rushing. Patrick Henry 4 on 10 attempts. Liberty 58 on 12. And Garrison Cruz 5 carries for 61 yards. Passing, Tristan Rosebrock 12 of 18, 82 yards, 103 yards total in the air with 2 picks. One JT Olkrug took to the house. Caden Kreinbrink has missed on a couple throws. He's 5 for 10 for 65 yards. Again, the total yardage pretty putrid for both teams, but again, I think Bill Inseman, as we talked about, him and his defensive staff doing a phenomenal job keeping Liberty Center under big yardage get numbers on the ground. Liberty 123, Patrick Henry 86. Couple other key numbers. Penalties, Liberty 3 for 39. Patrick Henry 3 for 43. So they were timely, Spike. Those penalties for both teams put them behind the gun. Both teams had big penalties. So far, tackles. Jackson Lonizak, 8 first half tackles. He has had a phenomenal half. Garrison Cruz with 6, but here's a number you're going to like. Ethan Gray with 5 solos.
Wow.
And Caden Sonnenberg, 5, the defensive backs, coming up big tonight. The tackling in our secondary has been phenomenal. Patrick Henry led by Mitch Prigge with 5 tackles. Liberty Center has limited Grant Smith. Now, he started to get some pressure.
He got loose there.
You saw Grant out. You saw him in. You saw him field. You saw him boundary. You saw him strength. You saw him weakness. They moved him around like you said they would. TJ Watt-esque, but that he impacted Liberty's last 2 drives, pressuring quarterbacks and gumming up the works on the run game. One other statistic I think is noteworthy before we hand it back to Spike to talk a little bit more about the second half, but Caden Kreinbrink's punt average is 44.3 yards. 44.3, and Max Walker is blowing balls in the end zone. We talk about it in our podcast. Liberty's kicking game has been a weapon, Spike. Liberty up 20-0, but the kicking game has been important.
Well, kickoffs and punts both. I mean, that's one thing that's another facet of the entire picture. And I think a lot of you folks at home probably expected Liberty to come out here and slam bam, and run the football for 200 yards. And, hey, we're playing a good football team, a team that has weathered the storm. They played playoff football and a lot of it. So this is the real deal. I'm not surprised. And a couple of breaks, well, you can talk about the breaks all night long, but sometimes you just have to play through. And Liberty Center so far has been able to play through, play more of a steady. They had both the ground game and the air game that they could go to. I look for the second half for the coaches to make adjustments to number 71, Smith, and Liberty, of course, the great tacticians that they are. I just think that this will be a more solid half for the Tigers.
Jigs, Patrick Henry doing what they do best. This is a defensive football team.
Yep. Again,
you always think of Bill Insom and you think of offense, but that's just not true. This guy's made his money on both sides of the ball over a long career. He's won 12 league championships in 33 years. He's won 276 games. He's only lost 103. Bill Insom's he wanted to get to halftime. Remember Rex Lindgren?
Yep.
Let's just get to halftime.
Just.
And I think that's what Bill wanted here. And if he comes out and they get a stop, I think you're going to see some really effective adjustments, largely in the run game. They've had 0 success in the run game, and they've had success this year when they've won games in the run game.
Yeah, well, I think that's the key. Got to get a stop here and then have a positive possession that leads to points. What does that do? Puts pressure back on Liberty Center, tightens things up. You turn around, get another stop, get the ball back. We got a very interesting football game. So by no means is this ball game over. Patrick Henry has done it time and time again, come out second half and been ready to go. We saw it last year where they came out, kind of took the lead, had us feeling very uncomfortable. So this team's going to fight. They got a lot of pride over there, and I expect a good second half here.
I think Reed Krieger being out of this game for PH is a massive impact to their passing game. They've had to rely on the short stuff, which is kind of their running game a little bit, has been the passing game, but not having Reed tonight, big deal. Spike?
I want to get a shout-out to our most faithful listener, watcher, Grandma Jean Kern. She's been under it lately, and a lot of pressure, a lot of stuff. Grandma Jean Kern, this is Liberty Center Tiger football for you this second half. Here we go. Short kick bounding around. Tigers break it there. They break through one. That's Barrett, and Barrett simply took it right up the middle, slipped through a couple of tackles, turned on the Jets, and moved the ball across the 50 down to the 49.
You got 2 running backs on this team, and they're real good, but Baxter Barrett can handle the football. He's got a little spark in him. He's got a little speed. He's not a bad guy to look to once in a while. He can run the football.
Well, he knew what to do with it there. Get it upfield and go. Nice return.
Do we look for ball control now?
I think a score, any way you can get it in this drive, really puts the game in Liberty's hands.
All right, Kreinbrink under center. Give to the second back, Gary. and brought down right away, a couple of yards on the play. A good ankle tackle before Gary could really get the momentum moving.
You know, we got Shane up here in the box, Scott, and he just said, you know, chip speed there, not coming from you. That's coming from Mama.
Chambers.
That's coming from Mama.
Every time Baxter Barrett has a good run, it's all about the Chambers. It's Barrett on his back. Colin Ball, relax.
All right, 2nd down and 8 at the Patriot 47-yard line. Wing right set. Under center. They give it to Gary again off
Good
the right
cutback.
side.
Ooh,
Gary
boy.
picks his way and now dives forward for about 3. He'll get down to the 44-yard line.
3rd and short spike. This is where Liberty wants to be. They're ahead of the chains here a little bit, right where they want to be. And the playbook is wide open and play for like 3rd and 5, 3rd and 4.
That was a good example of what Patrick Henry likes to do. Create piles.
Yes.
Make it. We talk about gumming it up, and that's it right there. Create piles, make it hard for your running back to get over the top, and let your pursuit get there, make a tackle.
Slow him
Crew
down.
now into the game. He'll go wide to the right. Look for Liberty Center to pull off a running play here. Under center, Crime Brink. Give on a quick hitter.
Good cut.
And breaks one there. Dives forward.
Wow.
And Gary down inside the 35-yard line to the 34. A gain of 10. And the Tigers get a first down.
Kiefer Holiday makes a play there. Holloway. Kiefer doesn't get him on the foot touchdown. Kiefer made a great play there because that was a touchdown-saving tackle right there.
Nice little cut at the beginning. Looked like they moved him to half on a dive that time. Good cut from Gary.
Little delay dive there.
All right, now they're going with the 3 men in the backfield. Now, of course, now they're going to shift out of there. Barrett with the wing left set. Cruz on the left, Moeller on the right. Here's the give to Moeller. Moeller
Look at that
cradles
block,
the
Gary
ball.
Cruz.
Follows
Oh, another big block.
Inside the 20.
Swiger.
Spins a move there. Still going on his feet. Grinds his way down inside the 10 to the 8-yard line. A gain of 26 yards, and the Tigers are rocking and rolling.
Cole,
How
can
do
we
you
see
like
that one
that,
again?
Grandma Jean?
Let's see, watch this play. Left side again. Good blocks up front.
Cruz,
nice job by
Barrett.
your wing. Cruz, Barrett's finishing his
Swiger,
guy. Swiger
pancake.
downfield. Here
Ooh.
comes Max Walker wants some. That's maybe Thomas Muller's best run of the year right
Power
there.
football. All right, 1st and goal at the 9-yard line. All right, now they're going to shift out of there. Cruz is on the right, Moeller on the left with a wing right, set with a wide out to the far side. Here's the give, Moeller pounding forward, down inside around the 5-yard line, pick up a 4.
Liberty will take this clock down to under 8 minutes if they can. 27-0 lead and in complete control. I like this play calling. A little inside, a little outside, but everything
no
vertical,
no
right
passing.
down your throat.
That was behind
The Nick Miller
Kellen
special.
Weimer and Walker over there on that left side. Excuse me. Yeah, Walker. Had it right. Here we go. So Cruz under center. Moeller on the left. Gary on the right. Motion this way. They're going to give power to Gary. Gary hit and brought down after a yard. A diving defensive play. That was excellent.
Well, you know, they defended the power last year off tackle very well until Whalen started rolling late in that game. But again, good penetration, good reads right there. That's a lot of scouting. Patrick Henry defense, really good. That staff, really good playing against Liberty Center. It showed up right there on that snap.
All right, we've seen some power running by Liberty Center. We could come up with a little bit of play action here. Now in motion. Now give power football. Gary kicks it outside. Now cuts it back up. He's going to be stopped at about the 3-yard line, I believe.
Thought he had something inside Baxter right there on the power. He decided to go outside of Baxter. If so, run to the pylon. Get to the corner. He tried to cut that up. Again, Patrick Henry, good pursuit. Inside out,
play
real
right
discipline.
here.
Great play by PH's defense.
They could get a stop.
All right, so Liberty Center appears to be foregoing a field goal possibility. Gray brings in a play to Kreinbrink, and the Tigers break the huddle.
Play of the game here for Patrick
Long
Henry
3,
right here.
Long 3 yards.
Barrett's a wing
play
on
call.
the left. We've got a wing right set. Here's the give. Power football looking for the hole. Gary Miller dives. Gary Cruz dives it into the end zone. It's a Liberty Center Tiger touchdown.
Toss sweep. Let him choose. He sees a little pay dirt.
Heavy
the end
to
zone.
that left side. Got Ethan Gray in the mix.
Talking about left side blocking all year. Down block, kick out blocks. second level inside safety linebacker, perfection touchdown. Big play call for Liberty. Now we're in control. Here comes the toss sweep. Boom, good job by Ethan Gray. Nice
Thomas
block
Muller.
here.
Who's
that?
that?
Is that Max Walker there?
I think so.
Walker kick up. It is good. 27-0. The Liberty Center with a big drive comes out, establishes a sense of superiority here, if you will, and they lead it 27-0, 7.5 to go here in the third quarter.
Gutsy call.
Was.
4th and a long 3. I was thinking maybe play action, but then, we talked about this at halftime, Jigs. Our state playoff runs have been wonderful, but the state final games have been one player the last 2 years. Perry, you got Ironton have had just a player you didn't have an answer for. Guess what? Liberty Center, I think, has that player in Garrison Cruz on offense. And so far, maybe not the yardage piling up yet, but the big plays like Waylon Rentz last year, Garrison Cruz now starting to hit pay dirt.
Well, and you get blocked up like that, and you give him a head of steam from 3 yards out. You're not stopping him. That guy is a freight train. That is a 6'2", 220 big man. You see him standing next to these corners and safeties, and it's not a good matchup.
And if you're going to run power football with the wingback, what better team to do it than Liberty Center, who executes as well as anybody in the state of Ohio. Downfield blocking at the point of attack.
Now that's the
cutting off a guy like Gray did there.
That was the old Vince Lombardi.
What a kick here.
Sweep.
Yeah. That's going to sail. No, it's going to hit at about the 2-yard line, but it went at an angle, so another good long kickoff.
I'm kind of surprised there. Cal Schroeder, one of their big playmakers, very quiet tonight. He had a chance there to grab that ball and kind of let that thing go behind him. You would think, your senior playmaker would try to go make a play.
You gotta make something happen, Spike.
And he's one of their guys.
He's a good player.
So what if you lose 5 yards if you do return it? You could break it, absolutely. Yep. All right, so 1st and 10 once again at the 20-yard line. PH has been there all night long. But they moved the football especially early on. Now back to throw. Wants it deep, can't get it there, has to go short. Tigers all there.
My.
And
Dippy.
what a tackle, Dippy. Baby.
That's your
what
nose
pursuit.
tackle. Getting down the line.
Tell you, Nick Miller, big smile on his face. You got a guy playing a one technique, running 21 yards to blast a guy. Took him down. Dippy's having having a great year.
What?
That guy,
he's on my list.
He
that guy's
ain't no nose tackle. That's a greyhound, baby.
That's a greyhound built like a nose tackle right there. Tell you, Logan Cifuentes is having a phenomenal year. A first-team all-league type of year. Great play, number 62.
He's in and out. Scott is.
Going deep. You see those shoulders going deep, and he's got somebody there.
Wow, great play there by Isaiah Badenhop right there. Sometimes when you're in a corner, you see that ball, you're right in tow. It's easy to kind of interfere. He did a great job, keep his hands off.
You just knew they had to get vertical. And, again, the minus Reed Krieger in this passing game, they just look different. They don't have that deep threat.
Right.
I would have thought they would have used the tight ends a little bit more. I really like Trent Johnson. He's hard to handle. He's always open. He works the hashes, inside the hashes. Haven't seen a lot of him tonight.
No.
Adam Foster checking into the game. Badenhop a little bit gimp.
And Ty Jackson also in this game.
Yeah, number 12. All right, 27-0, 6:46, and we've got a stoppage of play. Patrick Henry's going to call another timeout. We saw 3 out of their 4 timeouts called from situations similar to this.
Yeah, Patrick Henry needs something.
Yeah.
They were held under 100 yards of offense. You can't win games with 80 yards of offense and a half.
Nope.
2 interceptions. The running game completely blanked out. Liberty's guys up front just dominating the offensive line. I've never understood when I watched all their games, Jigs, as good as they are on the defensive line, a lot of those guys play on offense, and you just don't see the same.
Don't see the push.
You just don't see it. They're not moving people.
Yeah.
Of course, Hunter Spangler, dominant.
Right.
Obviously, Cifuentes. Logan's been incredible.
Weimer.
You're getting Weimer. I mean, those guys are really, really good with their hand down, but not movement. They're not even getting to the linebackers right now.
All right, so the Patriots come out. They've got the ball on the hash on this side at the 20. Back to throw. Has time. Throws that crossing route. Caught up there at the 35-yard line. Breaks front tackle. And the Patriots ramble for about 30 yards up to midfield.
Yeah, Casey helps with the Rovers, and I don't think he's going to be happy with his son Thomas there, who's been lights out tonight. Misses a tackle at about the 45, additional 8 yards. When you're the Rover, you're the last line of defense. You got to get him to the ground. But, you know, it's good schemed play, too. Got inside that soft zone. Big gain for PH.
All right, old crew. And let's see, out here on defense, they're going to throw to the underneath man, and he's
a ball
tipped
right away.
You know, that's the at least second ball we've seen tip, maybe the third. I think Cifuentes got his hand on that one, and that's an underrated thing that we talk about with this defensive line. If you can't get there, get your hands up. Another tip there. And
the pros make a living at
absolutely.
tipping.
Well, hey, what happened in the tip drill, you know? Garrison Cruz with a tip on a pass interception. It happens at the line of scrimmage certainly with Weimer and Hunter Spangler. These are tall guys.
I think that was Dippy that time.
Yeah, it was. All right, 2nd and 5. The Patriots on the move at the Tiger 47. Somebody may have jumped. Now they'll throw it up underneath. Breaks one. Breaks through another tackle, and the Tigers finally gang tackle him down around the 40, but it's a gain of 8 and a Patriot first down.
You know, Liberty, where they were really good tacklers in the first half of the secondary.
Missing
the
a couple
misses
here.
are starting to pile up. JT Oldcrew had him kind of sized up for almost a negative
play.
Great
drive on the ball. Just got to break down wrap.
And we have been really good tonight in the secondary finishing tackles, but we've missed a couple big ones here.
All right, I see Badenhop's back in the game after that doo-doo. All right, give on a little sweep around this right side. Breaks one tackle, slips another one, and slips and dives his way for 10 yards down to the Tiger 30-yard line. So Patrick Henry, not a toothless fang here. They're coming right back.
Now, if you thought you were going to shut out Bill Inseman, you got another thing coming. Patrick Henry's going to score in this game, and they're on a good drive right now, and largely because of some missed tackles in the open field. So we'll see if Liberty can batten down the hatches on 2nd and short.
Mason Smith now into the game, number 10. From out of the gun. He'll drop back 3. Throws it for the end zone, and way overthrown, incomplete. The coverage has been very good tonight. Patrick Henry really hasn't challenged us. I mean, they've challenged us, but they haven't come close to completing much of anything deep.
I get Reed Krieger not in this game as a difference maker. That's a Reed Krieger kind of route.
Yep.
And that was not a bad throw by Tristan, really, but, you know, then Thomas Moeller right there on time, almost making another pick over the shoulder. Man, interceptions over the shoulder are hard.
Yeah.
Thomas Moeller is really good at that.
All right, so the Patriots are the 3rd and 1 at the Tiger 30-yard line. 4:44 here in the third quarter. They're going to run power right in the middle, and he stopped for a loss. The Tigers met him right there, head on, bang, boom,
Walker,
pow.
Weimer.
Yeah, Dippy again.
Cifuentes.
Kellen Weimer wins the snap. I mean, really made the play, and then Dippy finished. But there's a lot of black jerseys there. You watch a replay. Liberty's defense swarming that run game.
Yep.
This is good, Spike. It was a 3rd and short, 0 yards.
And then what do you do as an offense?
Stop it.
You know,
boy, what a gaunt Tiger D.
Tough call here.
Wow,
Logan C.
here we
Fuentes
go.
playing
Patrick
well.
Henry's got to go for it. 4th and 1 at the Tiger 30. Under center. Now drops back. Throws a quick slant. Caught. Boy, it was defended well.
Kiefer Holloway on the slant.
Badenhop only a step behind.
Good throw by Rosebrook, but Kiefer Holloway's got good hands, runs good routes. He reminds you of Ethan Gray just a little bit.
Yeah, not bad coverage there. Kind of got the inside release on that slant, and Isaiah made a play for the ball. Couldn't quite get it, but
one of the toughest routes to stop.
That's right.
All right, 1st and 10 at the Tiger 25-yard line. Double wide out to the wide side. Straight drop. Looks. He's got a man out there, and there's a flag on the play. I don't know if that was a hold.
No, the side judge holding. Going to be holding against PH, it looks like. A side judge calls that holding. Offsides, false starts a lot.
What the hell? It doesn't matter who's calling it.
We have officials on the field. They have flags. They make calls, and that's how this game is played. Holding call against Patrick Henry. Big time penalty by PH right there. Gets behind the sticks.
Yeah, that's not a place to be.
You can't complain about every call. You got to play football, and PH has got to get this done here, being behind the sticks.
All right, so
well, this is where you might see some pressure here.
20.
Linebackers coming.
Double wide out to the far side. He's going to throw underneath everybody. Tigers move there. They force him to leap over the top.
Yeah, number
Foster
12 hits a crackback and talks trash when you're down 27-0.
I thought that was
when you're not watching.
I thought that was a
little. It looked like it was questionable too.
I thought he almost got him in the back. It's a good-looking play design coming from the outside to pick up that block, but that looked. I thought a flag was going to be thrown there.
I'm not sure that I'd be talking trash when you blindside a guy and try to stand over him like you're tough.
I just think
didn't see you.
You're down 27-0. PH needs a score to stay in this game right here.
All right, 3rd down and 15.
Big play. 4 down territory, Spike.
Out of the gun, straight drop. He's going to throw for the corner of the end zone. A great pass caught.
Great play.
And it's down to about the 1-yard line.
They brought the pressure. Long as that got picked up that time. Rosebrock with a good delivery.
And simply out heightened, had too
well,
much
Foster was right there. That's a good play by Foster. Can't do anything different.
He went up over the top and pulled it in. So Patrick Henry with the 1st and goal at the Tiger 1, 2:44.
That was a very good throw by Tristan Rosebrook. Put it right where he had to put it. Excellent job by Patrick Henry.
Now, will Patrick Henry dare try to run the gauntlet here up the middle? A little delay, they get it into the backfield, a little twisting and spinning, and he did not get in.
Max Walker on a run blitz about got him for a negative play, but they were in a wildcat.
Number 4, Schrader.
Cal Schrader, or Schroeder.
Yeah, I'd go wildcat 3 more times here. We got to punch this thing in. And for Patrick Henry, you get this close. But Liberty Center's defense, man, you know they're taking pride in this shutout, and they want it. So this will be interesting here.
Last time PH was here, it was a 62-0 shellacking.
Yeah, Schroeder can throw it. He played quarterback a little bit last year.
Yep. RPO.
He's going to take it himself right up the middle and into the end zone. It's a Patriot touchdown. 27-6.
Watch him go for 2. I think they'll kick it here. Looks like they're bringing the block out. But
well, they need 3 more scores. I would expect the kick.
Yep.
Well, it's definitely a good answer there by Patrick Henry. You had to get something going offensively.
Yeah.
Got the big pass finally, a few positive run game there, and then able to punch it in.
They got something in the run game in the red zone, and Patrick Henry, to stay in this game, Jigs, like you said, needed it and got it. Ooh,
Ethan Gray.
Right there. That's Ethan Gray. Big time
Great
play
job.
off the edge, Spike.
Oh,
wow.
See that again.
Let's see. Can we get that again?
I don't think we got it.
Maybe we didn't get it.
Good jump there, Ethan Gray, right off the edge.
And, that's an angle thing. That's geometry.
Yeah.
Great job by Ethan.
Skinny, right down that line.
He elevated, too. Good timing. Big time block. 27-6 Spike. And
geometry?
Little geometry. That's angles.
Tell me about what.
That's
what's
a 90-degree.
What's an isosceles triangle? Come on.
I'm better on obtuse triangle. I'm obtuse myself. I like obtuse angles. But not there. Perfect 90-degree. Ethan Gray, big block. Liberty Center with a touchdown here can really seal this thing away and send a message to Patrick Henry. But this is a big drive. PH has been very good on defense. See what Liberty can do here on the return.
This is a good fourth quarter test. We talked about needing a fourth quarter test. Well, this thing is still tight, so I would expect this first team to stay in here, obviously, and let's see if we can't go down and put another drive together.
It's been power football that they've kind of went to since midway in the second quarter. Tigers have moved to the power-type football. Now, are we going to keep that up and grind the clock? All right, see if a little chicanery they do, bounding around. Grab there at the 30-yard line, return straight ahead, powers forward. And a good return right into the heart of the defense.
Now you see Tatum Murdoch's creeping up, starting to play more impactful snaps, more impactful positions on the field. He is a rising star on defense in particular, but has been great on special teams all year, Spike. I love the Murdoch kid.
Yes. And we've got a stable of good defensive backs, a la receivers, and those underclassmen. A good bunch. All right, so Kreinbrink comes out. He lines up under center. We've got a wing right set with a tight end to the right. Now play action.
Good fake.
Throws it up over Lonazak. He was covered, and probably the safe throw there for Kreinbrink was to do exactly what he did. Get it up over the top and forget about it. We'll play another day.
PH has done a good job back there tonight. We knew that defensive backfield are experienced, they're athletic, and they're running with receivers.
All right, 2nd down and 10. The ball still in Liberty Center's territory at their own 43. Minute 43, clock stopped on the incomplete pass. 27-6, but this thing a long way from over. Cruz on the right. He'll take the deep pitch. Pays a hole. He breaks one tackle, pounds through another one, drives his way across the 50 down to the 49. A gain of 7, and the Tigers need 2 yards to convert here on 3rd coming up.
He is that guy that is just better than everybody that you got on defense. And I'm not talking necessarily, that he's, Grant Smith isn't a tremendous player, but Garrison Cruz in the open field, speed, power, elusiveness. He runs through a lot of tackles.
That should have been a tackle for loss.
Oh, my
right
gosh.
There. Mitch Prigge came down.
Tacklers.
Mitch Prigge
Coulda,
came downhill,
shoulda,
was right there, and then he just beat him.
You need dudes.
Yeah.
You need a bunch of dudes around 30, because one dude at a time, that's a lot of guys losing in the open field. That's what's happened.
Bad matchup.
Hey, stick with us tonight. We've got the Man of Steel, Steely Dan, in the post game. Boys, we got to keep.
I got a few.
I got a couple guys. Got a couple guys. Spike's always got 30. He's always wanting to nominate 30 guys. But we'll have our post game here with Boom Boom and Diamond Dan, our Swanton Welding Man of Steel, Steely Dan Award tonight. Still a little cloudy, not quite ready to make a pick. Yeah. But there's some guys.
Yeah.
Watch out for number 62. Dippy's having a big one tonight. And Jackson Lonazak, double-digit tackles.
Yeah. Number 30, always in the conversation.
I like what I've got seeing out of Kellen Weimer.
Yes.
Hunter Spangler's been good. There's been a lot of good players tonight. Ethan Gray has showed up. Watch out for number 2. A lot of football left here, Spike, with a minute 14 left in the 3rd quarter. Liberty needs a touchdown here to put this thing away. Patrick Henry, stout against the run, though.
All right, so 3rd down and 2. Minute to go in the 3rd quarter. Liberty Center on the 49 of the Patriots. Wing right set. Kreinbrink under center, gives to the second back, Moeller, cuts behind the block, back across the grain, still on his feet, now twists and turns, waits for a blocker,
great
now
block
jumps
by
to the right,
Max
Walker, dipsing and duving
good block
and
by
diving
Jackson
and jiving
Lonazak.
all the way down to the 22-yard line, a gain of 27 scintillating yards.
Oh, if we can see that again, Boom Boom, the right side, look at the blocks on the line of scrimmage, Boom, got it down block, kick out.
Big kick out.
28. Oh, Eli or stays with him. Look at the kick.
Look at this.
Nice downfield. Max Walker.
And then Lonazak with the peel back.
Deegan Schwager had a kickback block that sprung him back across the grain.
Isaac Orth with a big one.
All right, at the 22, 1st and 10 with a half a minute to go. Here's the give. Moeller prances, dances, bounds and pounds his way inside the 20 to the 19. 3 tough yards.
Where's Orth playing? I haven't seen him in a running back position yet this year. He playing half right now? Okay, they got him playing half and Thomas full.
Going to giving Garrison a little breather.
All right, Orth on the left, Moeller on the right. Patrick Henry a little anxious. They wanted to jump.
And run the
Tigers
clock out.
using that delayed call, and that's going to run out the 3rd quarter clock. The teams will switch ends, and Liberty Center knocking on the door. 2nd and 7 on the Patriot 19. 27-6 at the end of 3.
This 2025-26 Tiger Sports Live broadcast is brought to you by KK Collision. Meyer Badenhop Insurance, Affinity IT Group, Pisanello's Pizza, Ohio Asphalt Paving, Swanton Welding, Davis Farm Services, Holgate Metal Fab, Gerald Grain, Hill Asphalt, Mason Hill Construction, Engler Auctions, Dental Health Associates of White House in Sylvania, and Fessenden Hardware of Swanton.
Here we are back at the start of the fourth quarter. Pam Leatherman serving up meatball subs and walking tacos. Tonight she had the proper bun. Last week I loved it. This week was like 5+ stars on the meatball sub.
Thank you very much. About 3 of those.
Pam Leatherman, thank you very much. I'm sure Dick Leatherman helped her. She's always serving them, though, because you and I'd go back for 3 or 4. You get 1, Spike. You don't get 3.
Oh, I went back
portion control. I could use some of that.
I slipped in. I waited till the timing was right. And
Snipered.
Yeah, a sniper. All right. Tigers break the huddle. We're into the fourth quarter now. Ball on the 19. They spread Gray out wide out here to the far side. Now motion this way, and now the play blown dead. Patrick Henry calls another timeout.
Yeah. They did not like
That's tough.
what they saw in Liberty Center's offensive formation. They looked a little weak to the field, Jigs, and they know they no more touchdowns. That's it. To have any kind of chance, no more touchdowns. Right. Liberty on the drive here.
Couple scores, boom, just updated there. Wheelersburg's up 14-9, I believe, on Ironton. And Poland Seminary.
What was it?
It was 14-9. Wheelersburg's up on Ironton. Poland Seminary up 20-0 against South Range. Just a couple interesting scores around the Division 5.
I'm Wauseon Delta. I'm kind of interested.
Haven't seen any league scores tonight.
Anything.
Oh boy, Detroit Tigers tonight.
Come on, Tigers.
Gee, up on the Red Sox.
Can
3-1.
we just win?
Tigers up 3-1?
Tigers up 3-1.
What a collapse. Almost collapse.
I have not seen
Are you
the
a Tribe fan?
Yet.
No.
All right, good.
No. He's a Tiger
good.
fan.
That's right. What am I thinking? You're
just
Detroit
ask
everything.
Those boys in Morning Coffee. Ray Carpenter and several of them are
Detroit or nothing.
Mike Mann. They're all Indians.
Ooh, Texas up 4-2.
Okay. Let's get Frank on the horn.
All right.
Where is Frank Streeter?
Second down. 7 to go for Liberty Center. Now they shift. Lonazak takes a wing over on the far side. Spread out Gray over here. Now motion this way. Give power
Good
football.
cut.
That's
Good
Mulder. Cuts
blocking.
back across the grain. Spin move there. Breaks the tackle and drives his way inside the 10-yard line down to the 9. That's a 10-yard gain, and that's a Tiger first down.
I just love it when the wing comes across the formation and blows out that defensive end. Outside linebacker Baxter Barrett. Great block, and then a really good run inside again by Thomas Muller.
Baxter's had a great night blocking. I think we'll play this end zone film back this week and be very impressed
Mason
with the
Smith
way
comes in. I imagine he'll be lined up as a tight end.
This
is a running formation. You can bet your sweet bippy on that. All right, you got Mulder on the left, Gary on the right in the backfield. Cruz Wildcat, he just takes it right himself, pounds his way inside the 5 and down to the 3-yard line, a gain of 6.
You watch that wing go across the formation, and that triggers the defense to shift down and really start to beef up on that motion, and boom, nice little play call by, Caden Kreinbrink's a big dude.
Oh, he is a big body.
It's 3 yards just leaning forward, picks up big yards on the
He weighs about the same as Gary.
Jump on Spangler's back and go.
Henry Fitzenreiter now into the game as a guard, an extra blocker. Tigers out of the Wildcat. Here's Gary. Gary's going to run it right up the middle. And he's into the end zone. Untouched. It's a Liberty Center Tiger touchdown.
Well, that's how you want to do it. Beef up. Put the hogs in the backfield and run it right down your throat. And Liberty has that ability. Last year, on that key last drive, just got big and heavy downhill. It was an impressive drive. Liberty needed that, and this game, to me, feels very much teetering on a blowout. So nice job by Liberty Center there on that drive.
33 with the extra point coming up. No, they're lining up to go for 2. under center. He's going to throw the loft pass.
Oh, what a catch!
Circus catch!
Holy mackerel!
Hey, with a circus catch! He went up in the air, out-dueled his defender.
Oh,
Left
boy.
hand.
Away,
Here's
hit
the play.
jack, held on. It's a Tiger 2-point conversion.
Ethan Gray just
35
wins
to
1-on-1 and pulls it down one-handed with the left arm. That's
Are you
NFL
kidding
quality.
me?
That is
Ball skills.
Oh, that is,
Ball
man.
skills.
I will tell you, my friend, he had an elite first half on defense. That was next level. And Steely Dan beginning to make his way to number 2 a little bit. I'm not sure.
I didn't give him a snowball's chance in the hot house.
I mean, fighting that defender off with the right hand to be able to just peel that thing off.
And left-handed. Wow.
I'll tell you, Ethan Gray, he
does
we
some
talk
stuff.
about just his athleticism, and he's got great hands. He's a great hands catcher. Man, that is a big-time play.
Again, put it where it had to
You know, that's right, Spike. Don't underrate the throw. Back shoulder. That's what that was, a back shoulder. The defender playing high, and great sit-down catch, left arm cradle, Ethan Gray. Big night by Ethan. Liberty up 35-6, man. I love it. I love this. A great feeling to do this to your neighbor.
And the varsity is going to play 4 quarters.
That's
Boy,
right.
how much we need that
no doubt.
midway through the year.
We got Marion Local down 19-14 in the 4th.
Wow.
To Versailles. 64 straight wins on the line.
All right, Walker again. The boomer delivers high, end over end, and that's going to hit at the 5. It fooled Patrick Henry. They gave up on it. What is up with that?
You know, you have seen teams just skip the return. They have no interest in getting blasted. You know, there's been a lot of balls that could have been returned, and you would think, because they've got good athletes, Jigs. These guys
Schroeder,
can run.
he's your senior.
Cal's
he's the guy you look to go make plays for you.
Make a play when you need it, but they have passed on that all night long on the return game.
I mean, that thing almost didn't get into the end zone. It hovered there.
Yeah, that's what I say. I mean, why do you just give up? I don't believe it. When I played baseball as a 10-year-old out on the ball diamonds, it didn't matter what the score was, you played.
That's right.
All right, dropping back to throw. Throws it upfield. That's going to be dropped.
Alligator
at the
arms.
35-yard line.
You know, that route has been there, that deep in route, about 13 yards. He's found that soft spot in the zone. That ball should have been caught for a big gain. Tristan Rosebrook has put some good throws on his receivers.
He's had a nice second half.
Hey, his first half he was 12 for 18.
Yep.
Yeah.
With, I think, for 103. They had negative yardage on some sacks, but Spike, that's efficient. Two picks really hurt
You know,
him.
the one was a Gary incredible play that kind of dropped into the zone. The second one maybe was probably his worst throw of the night, but he's been good.
Delta playing Wasion tonight. They're up 17-0, I think.
Okay.
Delta is?
Yep.
Okay. I'm not surprised.
Uh-oh.
Well, a little behind. It's almost like a screen pass.
There they are in the open
1-2 tackles, and the Tigers swarm on it up at the 35-yard line, but a gain of 15 yards. They got Liberty, everybody deep, and somebody forgot about that short little dump out.
Liberty's going to give the checkdowns out now. Now it's about the clock. Liberty's going to win this football game. So they're going to give up the checkdowns and let the clock run. And, you know, PH has got one timeout left. And, you know, there's just not a lot left, not a lot of meat on the bone for PH here offensively tonight.
All right, so the Patriots show that same 4 wide out system. 3-step drop, lofts it out there high, and that's going to go way over the head. Good coverage by Isaiah Badenhop. You know, to complete that particular pass, Isaiah was close enough. As high as he lobbed it, that was very difficult.
Yep.
Very difficult that long in the air.
Well, he rolls out or he takes a couple steps to that right hash and throws it 30-plus yards across the field. That's a hard completion.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Tristan Rosebrook's a good quarterback, but that's a tough throw for anybody.
All right, so the ball at the middle of the field now. Patriots again with the double wide out.
Ooh, a little pressure.
Out of the gun. Tigers showcase the blitz, and now.
Oh, boy. I think Tristan Rosebrook said, "Ooh boy,
18,
number 18 is coming to get me, and I don't like it, and I'm going to call a timeout." And that'll be it for Patrick Henry on timeouts. And again, Patrick Henry has been a game defender tonight. Ooh, Bill's getting after some officials. Shocker. I know that shocks to hear you, Bill getting after officials, but that is not going to work tonight. I don't think that's a tactic that's got him any calls.
I can't wait to hear what the chain gang has to say about the other team's sideline.
Hey, listen,
tonight.
Bill Inseman is a Hall of Fame coach. He's one of the top 20 coaches to ever coach this game in the state of Ohio. He has gotten a lot of calls by working officials, but at 35-6, a little carping isn't going to make a big difference.
Yeah. All right, so 10-10 after Patrick Henry's last time out. 35-6 Liberty Center. PH facing a 2nd down and 10 at their own 35-yard line.
Jix, I like their backs out of the backfield.
Yeah,
They're
Rutter's
good.
a nice player.
Open field.
I think he's only touched the ball 2 or 3 times tonight. I
Jaden
saw a
Rudder.
lot from him on film. Kind of surprised.
Like Jaden Rudder in the open field.
Yeah.
And they've got some guys that can create problems.
Boy, I'll tell you what. Weimer and Spangler and Dippy, Cifuentes, those guys have played. Well, now, hey, wait,
Bachman.
we're seeing Bachman in there as a defensive tackle,
Ooh.
too.
Oh,
a
boy.
pass high, and that's going to be incomplete.
Well, and we've talked about the rise of Sawyer Bachelman. And, in these passing downs, he's had a propensity. He's a good pass rusher at the 3 technique outside that little defensive end, defensive tackle. He gets through there. He knows how to win.
He does.
Off the ball.
He can get skinny and get into them holes.
He's the pass rushing
Coach
moves.
Miller is with him a lot. And Sawyer asks a lot of questions. He's very
coachable.
Very coachable. Oh, yeah. He loves it. All right, Tigers show now a 4-man front with Gary down there. They rush the passer, that little quick look in, and that's complete for 10, 11 yards, and Patrick Henry first down.
That has been the play, I think, that's gotten PH.
Yes, that slant.
The most yards is the slant inside, just behind the linebackers and just in front of that zone. But again, Matt Bryan he'll give it up all night. Let the clock run.
Back in 1997 in the Snow Bowl, they used to run that same play a lot,
yes,
and
it
worked in the first half. Second half, another story.
And then the 9 sacks in the second half in the snow ended that.
All right, motion's over for the double wide out. Straight back. Now throws
nice
a bullet
throw.
over the middle. That's caught, and Gary manhandle tackle after an 11-yard gain and a first down.
Yeah, that's a little nasty for you. And again, good throw. I mean, Tristan now getting some rhythm. He's getting some rhythm.
That's a junior. There's a lot to like from him going into next season in your senior year. Get a little bit more muscle, a little bit bigger. He's got a great arm.
This offensive line protecting him here. Liberty got home a couple times for big sacks, not in the second half.
Right.
PH's offensive line really holding up in pass pro.
Hey, they came to play. They come to play, that's for sure. All right, straight drop now, rolling to his right, fires it out there, caught. Tigers had a man in front, I believe Lonzak, but he couldn't get there to knock it away. And Sonnenberg, I think, came across and made the tackle for only a 5-yard gain.
I think it might have been Orth.
Orth?
I think he's limping a little bit, but Isaac's had a nice night. It's good to see him back in the lineup after a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Well, he's a great player and does a lot of things for you. Tristan Rosebrook getting some good rhythm. Another good throw by Tristan. You give him time, he's got effective receivers, especially in that intermediate passing game.
All right. They show Gary as a down lineman, 4 linemen now, putting on the pressure.
Ooh,
back to throw.
Picked
off.
Oh, they're going to throw a flag.
They're going to call pass interference against Liberty Center.
Maybe on Ethan.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
I believe it was Moeller that got the pick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Thomas played one heck of a center field here tonight, hasn't he?
He does. He read that all the way. That was an interception out of his hand.
Yep. That's another guy that might be climbing my list with that interception there in the first half.
Ooh, I don't know.
Ooh, we got look at this. Start of the fourth, Genoa up 21-7 on Oak Harbor.
Really? Well, Genoa's they're pushing
rising
the
a little bit, aren't they?
little,
I think Oak Harbor a little overrated. Not quite. They're not having that schedule that I would expected. They're undefeated, but not as good, I don't think, as last year. Bad snap here. Yeah, smart. Because Sawyer Bockelman was
that's a good move.
He was putting the apron on, licking his chops. he saw a Saccarino, an old Saccarino.
Oh, yeah.
You know, Tristan, high IQ, just get to the ground. You got to play the rest of the season. You got to finish second.
Hey, they've got their own playoff aspirations.
They're going to the playoffs.
Yeah.
They're going to the playoffs, and they're going to make a run. Guarantee it. Insolent to have this team in the playoffs. They'll win a game or two, maybe 3.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right, 2nd down and 16 at the Tiger 28. 7:46 clock running in the 4th. Back to throw, has enough time, throws that little short route.
Great
Gary
tackle.
there to make the tackle.
Ugh.
Great tackle.
And slams him to the deck. The Tigers there. Walker makes sure that he's not getting any extra.
You know, we always talk about Gary, obviously, but there's two
Gary
open
who?
Gary Cruz.
Okay,
you know that guy.
sorry.
2 big-time open field tackles, that one and then that last slam.
Yeah.
But for a big guy, linebacker like that, to go chase receivers down, play in space, to be able to wrap up and make tackles, that might be an underrated part of his game. That's not easy to do.
I think he's a defender
Yeah.
at the MAC
He's
level.
just a
Toledo Bowling
ball player.
Green. He's
Yes.
big, strong, fast. He's a bad dude, good tackler, complete player.
All right. Out of the gun, good pass rush there.
Another flag.
Tried to get a hand on it.
Good tackle
Caught
by
out
Ethan.
there in the flats and down around the 20-yard line. Gary came blowing through again and put pressure on the quarterback.
Maybe offsides, maybe a pre-snap. False start.
Okay.
Well, the Tigers don't want to. They're playing hard. They don't want to give up that second score.
No, they don't.
You know, 35-6 got that nice ring, that impressive sound to it. Tigers certainly don't want to give that up. And on the other hand, Patrick Henry comes to play. This is a good football team.
Well, 3rd and 18. We'll see if we bring pressure, but kind of dropping in coverage.
Tigers with 9 men up in the box. Little play action underneath.
Oh, good play,
Bubble
JT.
screen, that ain't going anywhere. Oh, Crew come knifing in there and took him out at the ankle.
Little bubble screen to the boundary where they had some bodies, but JT read it.
Man,
He read it. He diagnosed
great
it.
play.
And a great tackle. He has played some football
Yep.
the last couple games.
Yeah.
Senior,
Yes.
feeling it, Spike.
Yes.
He sure has.
He was our Steely Dan Man of Steel winner last week.
Yep. Well, hey, not a bad night tonight, huh?
He's
Interception
playing
return
well.
for a touchdown, big tackle there. Gotta love these seniors. Getting time and just showing up. Waiting their turn, and just doing it.
All right, trip receivers to the wide side. Quarterback drops back. He's going to give it all he's got downfield and
Ooh.
fronted there. Good defense by Ethan Gray. Stayed with the receiver the whole way. That ball was not going to be caught. It's incomplete, and that will turn the ball over to Liberty Center.
And I wanted to make mention we lost a community saint in Connie Zeider this past week and lost her to cancer. And dear friend Norm Zeider, Swanton Welding, who sponsors our post-game, tough loss for the community. Such a do-gooder,
What an
such a
awesome
contributor.
woman. Yep.
Baxter Barrett getting notes all the time. Beatrice, just such
So
an
positive.
encourager.
Yeah.
Big impact person in our community. She will be missed. Connie Zeider.
All right, Tigers show the full house backfield. Now they shift into a wing right set. Cruz on the right, Moeller on the left. Give to Moeller. No, that might be no, that is Moeller, not Orth, and Moeller will pick up 3 behind Cruz. 2-yard gain.
Well, Liberty content now to let this clock run. PH really can't stop it. Now it's just a matter of getting to zeros.
Yep.
This is going to be a really big and important win for Liberty Center.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not going to say it was easy, but Liberty just really kind of tightened the screws down, Jigs.
Little by little.
Oh, yeah.
Step by step, inch by inch. All right. Give now to Cruz on a sweep. Waits, follows the blockers. Pounds his way forward for 5. Up near the 38-yard line.
And Liberty content just to pound it off tackle. You know, this is a very makeable 3rd down on the ground, and it's just, again, about the clock.
Under 5 minutes now.
This goes a long way, Jigs, for another league championship right here. You had to pass this test. This PH team and program is fantastic.
Yep.
Barrett, the wing on the right side. Here's the give to Mulder. Mulder looking for a little room. Squirts forward. He'll be down at the 39. Gain of a yard. 4th down and 2 now for Liberty Center.
Little bit of a inside blitz there.
And
Got to Liberty.
It
Got to
appears
Liberty.
they're going to go for it. Kreinbrink under center. Barrett the wing on the right.
Oh, boy.
No, they tried to draw him off. No, they've got plenty of time on the clock. They can do that. Now they're going to shift into punt formation with Kreinbrink.
Need a good snap here.
Kreinbrink gets off a line drive punt. Holy mackerel.
Settle down.
Hits at the
Settle
12.
down.
It's going to roll.
Oh.
It goes into the end zone.
Boy, he's got a leg, man.
A 61-yard punt that coulda, shoulda,
Wow.
woulda rolled dead inside the 2. Ow! That was a bing, bang, bong bullet.
Tell you what, had that stayed out of the end zone, the average just scooted past 50 on the punting. Caden Kreinbrink, I love our special teams, Mike.
I mean, so
we do so many good things on special. Brian, they don't pay Brian Hefflinger enough, do they? Now, they do pay for the haircut because he don't have much hair on his head.
It's a zing job.
He's got the same haircut as his legendary father, Chad Hefflinger. Not much. And jigs your head in there as well. You're trying to leave a little bit left, but there ain't much left there, big boy. Don't be jealous that I got my full locks up here.
You just talk about Hal Huber every week just to rub it in.
And I talk to Hal. I get a haircut every week from Hal Huber. So let's show up and Hal cuts it. 45-minute history lesson from Hal.
All right, so the Patriots have the ball on the 20-yard line. Out of the gun, they're just going to give it straight up the middle, and that's going to be no gain on the play at all. Tigers right there all night long. Nothing given up on the interior.
Logan Cifuentes has won that battle. 90% of the snaps. Whoever's playing center for Patrick Henry did not handle number 62.
It's been a long night.
Logan Cifuentes and the Canadian Mafia, wherever you're at tonight.
Celebrate tonight.
Dippy
might be.
He's also, again, in the conversation. But both of those tackles have also played well tonight. Well, actually, Bachman's played well. Hunter Spangler just put 5-star efforts each night. And Kellen Weimer.
Yep.
All right, they're just going to play a little power stuff off that right side, and no gain on the play. That'll bring up 3rd down and 10. Clock under 3 minutes here. Tigers substantially ahead, 35-6.
Well, remember to join us in the postgame for the Swanton Welding postgame show and the Man of Steel tonight. Spike, I hope. Ooh, I see the Man of Steel graphic. Look at those guns, man. Wow.
Yeah.
You know, the captain tonight is in Las Vegas for a wedding, and he is not with us in the booth, but it's been flawless with Diamond Dan and Boom Boom running the boards tonight.
Cole is just
trying to get outside.
Automatic.
Slipped one, but the Tigers steamrolled him back at the 19-yard line, a team tackle.
He's been all over the replays, score updates. He's on it.
Yeah, he says, "Hey,
You
Mark
can't-
who?
You
Mark
can't
fly
say
who?"
enough for what these guys do. I mean, they come and they set this stuff up early. They come before us. They stay after. We always ask to help, but they're like, "Don't touch my stuff."
Mark Bly doesn't
you don't know
want
what
you
you're
touching.
doing.
Mark doesn't want you touching anything.
So you can't. The time that these guys put in, man, it is something special.
Well, to bring a broadcast to Liberty Center, you know, you got a tremendous facility. You got great cheerleaders. You got a great band. Look at this crowd. You got Spike Whitman, Crown Jewel. I mean, you got LC Tiger Sports Live. Does it get any? It gets no. What do you think? It gets no better.
It just don't get no better than this.
I love it. Liberty will move to 6-0, as Casey might say, a 6-win football team. But to the back end of this schedule, got some nice ball games in it. Archbold, Delta.
Getting interesting.
Nice
Wasion,
little.
I mean, Wasion is Wasion.
Well, but they're the best 0-6 team in the league.
They're playing teams a lot harder than they were last year.
Last week, PH game was right down to the nubbins. And Patrick Henry still in the driver's seat for the number 2 slot in the league.
All right, kind of squibs it. It's going to go end over end and bounce out of bounds up across the 40-yard line. So with a minute 26, there'll be the second unit in there. Tigers will have the football in PH territory.
Well, I'm here to tell you that Liberty Center trying to knock off Bill Inselman's, I think, 30-game win streak in the league. I think that's a record. Liberty, I think, is at 29 maybe in the league.
29, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think we're at 29. I think Bill's got 30. Tell you, Bill Inselman's got a lot of wins, man. The Liberty, I think 41 consecutive regular season wins. Just hop on the train. Liberty Center is rolling right now. And, oh, by the way, that youth football group that you saw run out,
yeah.
100, you got about 190 in the youth league. Oh, boy.
Wow.
They just keep coming.
180 plus almost 190 kindergartners through
like
6th grade.
An anthill exploded.
You go, and the hordes of youth.
An anthill exploding.
Wow.
I'm talking about the big black African ants. All right. Give off that right side. Running room now kicks it to the outside. Braxton Light, I believe.
Yes, it is. Number 16.
Good run there.
Light with the carry. Tackling for the Patriots by number 51, Joaquin Escobar.
And number 5, Brady Badenhop, a contributor on this team. Good rising star out there. Perry under center. Jakeway on the left, Light on the right. They're going to give it straight ahead to Jakeway. Jakeway cuts through one, pounds over another, bangs his way down inside the 20 to the 18-yard line.
There's a guy there we talk about a lot. Brody Jakeway is just a dude.
Yeah.
He's just got a swagger about him. He's a heck of a wrestler. He's handsome. He's kind of got the whole package, and he likes to hit and bang, and he wants to tackle you and block.
He hits those holes really quick
Tough.
from that fullback position.
Tough.
Murdoch spread out wide to the far side. I believe we're in victory formation now. Braxton Light stands back behind. Tigers letting the clock run down now.
Hey, we're going to get some numbers here, Spike, upstairs, and we'll get to the Swanton
Sure.
Welding postgame here momentarily.
Number 9, Max Perry takes the knee.
Boom Boom, is that live? Okay, Boom Boom with some extended coverage here. The Ironton Wheelersburg game. That is a tight one there.
Wow.
Wheelersburg up
There's
17
still
to
about
15.
10 minutes to go. Well, that I believe is going to be the final snap.
And tonight's
Tigers come off the field
Patrick Henry Patriots
in victory,
Liberty Center Tigers.
and the teams will meet at midfield.
Thank you for coming out.
Wow, tonight here in the black hole, the pit, the Liberty Center Tigers hold that home field advantage strong once again. They gutted out in the trenches. Patrick Henry went to the air. They moved the ball early. They had a couple flashes in the second half. Tried to make it a ball game, but the Liberty Center's relentless power, power football, smash mouth football, kept grinding and pounding, making plays in the secondary and on the defensive line, and the Tigers finally come out ahead 35-6. All right, we'll take a quick break while we wait for Scott to get the numbers.
This 2025-26 Tiger Sports Live broadcast is brought to you by KK Collision, Meyer Badenhop Insurance, Affinity IT Group, Pisanello's Pizza, Ohio Asphalt Paving, Swanton Welding, Davis Farm Services, Holgate Metal Fab, Gerald Grain, Hill Asphalt, Mason Hill Construction, Engler Auctions, Dental Health Associates of White House in Sylvania, and Fessenden Hardware of Swanton.
Welcome back, Liberty Center final here, 35-6 to go to 6-0 over the county rival Patrick Henry Patriots in Liberty Center. Just a complete game tonight on both sides of the ball. The numbers, though, if I'm Bill Inseman and I see the numbers, I'm not that disappointed. Let's go first downs. Patrick Henry 13, Liberty Center 11. So Patrick Henry had more first downs. Those first couple drives were important in the first half. Total yards, Liberty Center 258, Patrick Henry 215. So Patrick Henry's defense did a really good job tonight keeping Liberty Center under control. 193 yards and 31 attempts for Liberty Center. The workhorse tonight was Garrison Cruz, 14 carries for 99 yards and 3 TDs, but Thomas Moeller really showed up when it mattered in the second half. Some of those put-away drives, put-away runs, 11 carries for 82 yards. Patrick Henry ran for 14 yards on 17 attempts. Tristan Rosebrook tonight throwing the football, 25 of 37 for 228, 2 interceptions. They threw for 201 yards. That's what they did tonight, and they were minus one of their best players, as a wide receiver, and I think it really cramped them up tonight when they didn't have their top receiver in this game. Liberty Center passed for 65 yards, 5 of 11. Not that sharp. Didn't need to be. Liberty ran the football. Big number penalties. Patrick Henry, 7 penalties for 78 yards. Liberty Center, 3 penalties for 39. I think those were in the first half. No penalties in the second half. Great defensive effort. Outstanding open field tackles. Garrison Cruz with 10. Jackson Lonizak with 8. Ethan Gray, 8 tackles. Max Walker, 9. And Logan Cifuentes from the nose guard position.
Whoa.
Almost a double-digit tackle night.
Wow.
Dippy is just a stud. He had 9 tackles from the nose guard position.
Wow.
Dominant.
Punt average tonight, Caden Crimebrink, and kicked one in the end zone, 48.5 yards for Caden Crimebrink. That was impressive. Now on to our man of steel, the Swanton Welding man of steel here. We're in the Swanton Welding postgame. We'll keep it relatively brief, but guys, a lot of interesting players tonight. A lot of good play, a lot of guys you could call and make it an easy victory, but I think a lot of other guys came in the second half and really tightened this up. Spike Whitman, who would be your nominees for the man of steel?
I think we're going to be able to pare it down to 4 or 5 real easy. Of course, that's a big job for me, but
you would give this to everybody every week if you could.
Lonizak and Gray and Moeller and they all played big roles in that game tonight. But to me, there were 2 players that totally stood out. Gary Cruz, I mean, he was an offense, defense, every position. He was lining up on the line. He was covering in the backfield on defense. He ran over people. He was a madman on both sides of the ball. Cifuentes, he's the guy that's in a position that is never going to get a lot of offensive notoriety. He has to do his on defense on one side, but I thought that young man played as well as a nose tackle can possibly do in the realm of Liberty Center's rush defense.
So you're not.
I could give it to Gary Cruz every week.
You could.
Every week I could give it to Gary Cruz. I like Dippy. I like Logan Cifuentes for the effort he put out. And 2 of those tackles were pursuit tackles.
Yes. Yeah. Outside the hashes, outside the numbers.
Yes.
For a nose guard.
And for that lumberjack to run people down, that takes effort. My vote goes to Dippy.
All right, Brian?
I'll give you 4 names. Ethan Gray, I thought he was fantastic tonight. A lot of tackles on the outside, just solid from the receiver position. Then he has that one-handed catch. I mean, that alone, I think he's got to climb the list for that. Love what I'm seeing out of Ethan. Thomas Muller had a great big-time pick in that first half to kind of change that tide on that second interception, playing center field. No, not an easy pick either. Over the top of the shoulder.
Oh, yeah.
I thought he played pretty well in the run game, and then he ran the ball as well as I've seen him the last several weeks. Garrison Cruz, We see it every single week from him from the running game. His ability to go get into that passing lane, tip that ball for JT Olcruz touchdown, key, impressive, getting into the passing lane. And, yes, my pick tonight is Logan Cifuentes from that inside. That guy is tough to block. He's tough to move. And he wasn't just disrupting things. He was dominating from that nose tackle. That run game was non-existent
0%.
from the inside. So.
Well, I've got the captains. He's got Dippy too, Logan Cifuentes, and nobody else, and that's rare for him too. He likes to name other guys, so it's 3-1. Let me just make sure I get the guys in I like, because we're a heavy lean to Dippy, but how can you deny the effort that you got tonight out of Ethan Gray?
Yeah,
I mean the open field tackling, the touchdown catch, the put-away touchdown catch was ESPN highlight worthy. His coverage was dead red all night. He made some clutch catches. I just love the way he tackled in the open field. I love the way he ran in the open field. Ethan Gray had a fabulous night. I love guys that pile on tackles. Max Walker and Jackson Lonizak were fabulous tonight against the run. Those linebackers really piled up tackles, and Garrison Cruz had 10.
Wow.
He had 10. Now, he gets graded on a curve, guys, because he's so good. He's just next level. We understand that. He raises the bar. What's that? High tide raises all the boats. We're kind of riding Kellen Weimer in certain aspects. We're riding Garrison Cruz. You said it, Spike. Garrison Cruz had a big night. A lot of tackles, open field, ran for almost 100. He had 3 more tutties.
Yeah.
And then he had piles on 10 tackles. Statistically, he's King Kong. But, golly, didn't Logan Cifuentes win this award a couple weeks ago? I think hasn't Dippy won this before?
I don't know.
I don't think he
he's
has.
been in the running a couple times.
I'm just going to say the greatest performance out of a nose tackle in a long, long time. And I played with one named Joel Zimmerman, who was a bad mamma jamma, wore number 43 and just ate people's lunch. We've had great nose guards here for decades, but tonight's performance by Logan Cifuentes in the biggest game of the year gave up not an inch. He won that battle, I said 95% of the time. And the tackles, how many times do you see a note? Nick Miller is not a tackle guy. He's a make-your-play guy.
Yeah.
Pile, assignment, do your job.
Let your linebackers.
I think Logan Cifuentes not only did everything that Nick Miller wanted, I think he got the tackle. So this is a unanimous Man of Steel Steely Dan award tonight for Dippy, who was fabulous. So, and that was Mark Bly's vote as well, guys. We got a lot of really great players, but really impressive performance tonight. I will take Dippy, Logan Cifuentes to win it. That's a 4-0 vote. That's a rare for us. So, Spike Whitman, a big win tonight. Liberty 6-0 in prime position for yet another league championship. Take us out of here.
Yeah, Liberty Center needed a game like this. They needed a tough game.
Yes.
They needed a challenging game. They needed a game where they can maybe eat a piece of humble pie or two tonight and understand that, hey, you know what? We've got a ways to go. The coaches preach that in every practice. We have got to get better if you want to beat the big teams. And tonight, Liberty Center found a way to do it. It was steady, it was tough, it was grinding, but Liberty Center managed to put it together and put it on the Patrick Henry Patriots by that final score of 35-6. Next week, Liberty travels to Evergreen. And, of course, waiting for scores tonight. We'll see what that develops into. But Liberty Center proved their mettle against a tough opponent, the Patrick Henry Patriots. Our friends to the south gave us a battle. But with that note, everybody, 35-6 victory. It's good night and good Tiger Sports.